Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. That was Hugh Sullivan playing us in here as I was putting the links live on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome back again. To remind you, we're here playing our live stream for charity, our actual play D&D session here, set in Tolkien's Middle Earth as a means of supporting, if you would be so kind, the Arts for Illinois Relief Fund. That's artsforillinois.org/donate. The URL's up there. I know it's probably hard to see. But anyway, we're coming back. We had a great time last time. And so I'm hoping that you will have fun joining us this time as well. We've got our same returning cast of characters today. Starting with Emily Steele is going to be playing Kona, daughter of Kofar, our dwarf treasure hunter. We've got your favorite fiance of mine and mine, Catherine Eastvold, is going to be playing Dernhild Steelsheen, our writer of Rohan. We've got my friend Hugh Sullivan here, who is going to be our musician, but also playing Finnegan Proudfeet, a hobbit of Bree, and of course the stern ranger from the north, Kenneth Cruz, who we sometimes refer to here as G-Jog, is going to be joining us once again as Damrod Findagil, the Dunedain Ranger of the North. We're going to start real quick here with just a reminder. The reason that we're doing this is to induce you to donate here. This is a charity that supports independent artists and art organizations, places like museums, live venues, other arts organizations like local arts organizations in the state of Illinois. That's where we're all from, and many of us have affiliations with art organizations or theaters or whatnot. I don't have a direct one with anything, but I do work in state government, and that's why I was aware of this charity. And in my side gig, I also freelance write for entertainment magazines, mostly for Paste Magazine at pastemagazine.com. And so largely what I'm writing about are things like films or other forms of entertainment. It means a lot to me. And while there are lots of charities that are handling other things during the pandemic, this is an area that I personally felt needed some attention. If you're joining us again, we'll thank you very much for coming back. We'll do just a brief recap. Why doesn't everybody go on ahead and we will go around the table, the virtual table again, and have you guys introduce yourselves and your characters one last time. Let's start with, we'll go in order of who joined the adventure first and everything. So we'll start with Emily. Go ahead and introduce us to yourself and your character once more.
Why does it always start with me? I'm
We
always
could,
the least prepared.
well, we could go with who has the shortest beard in the party, and
Oh, rude. Okay, so my name is Emily Steele. I represent Theater 7. It's a community theater in Decatur. So I'm very glad that we're able to support the arts in this way. I am playing Kona, daughter of Kofar. She is a dwarf of the Lonely Mountain from Erebor. I think I'm saying that right. And she has a sweet dwarf beard because she is dwarven, and that's just how they live their life. Last time I did get a sweet sword, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of it. Ken, could you help me with how it's pronounced?
I believe that we named it Daignif Dagnir.
Which is short for Ghostface Killa.
That's the
So
closest in Sindarin that I could get to Ghostface Killa, because it slew a spirit warg the other night.
so it needed to be christened.
Yeah, and you were gonna call it something badass like Wraith Slayer, but then Hugh was like Ghostface Killa, and like it's like what can you do? So anyway, that's Hugh's fault. And I looked up what I think is a reputable Sindarin source, and it roughly translates into bane of a corpse's face. That's what that directly translates into. So Kona is
I
carrying
love that so much.
when
So
we first met Kona, she was she flouted her father's authority to go adventuring, returned to participate in the Battle of the Five Armies at the end of The Hobbit, and saved his life, got disinherited, went off to Rivendell at the summons of Lord Elrond, and then met the group there, and that is her. Let us introduce ourselves, have her introduce us to Catherine, who is playing Durnhild. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Catherine P. Eastvold. My children and I are active in community theater in Springfield, and I am playing Durnhild Steel Sheen, a shield maiden of Rohan. I am a member of the King's Guard. I am the niece of the Princess Morwen. I'm on this adventure because I have been sent away from Rohan as an emissary, but actually because I am not very welcome there due to some palace intrigue.
Oh, you've paused. You've paused. Are you still there? We've lost Durnhild for a second, everybody. This briefly happened last time, too. Maybe she'll come back in a second here. Still there? Are you still there?
I'm here, yes.
Sorry, we lost you for a second. Go ahead and start
Sorry
from...
about, what do I need to say again?
Start from when you got sent west
Okay.
as an emissary. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
I've been sent away on a diplomatic mission, really to get the hell out of there because of some palace intrigue. I understand that I'm no longer welcome in my homeland, but I will do my best to honorably represent the mark. And I am armed with a short bow and longsword and astride my warhorse Firefoot.
Yes. All right. We got you that time. Okay. And Durnhild joined the group, yes, after proving her mettle in battle and unfortunately embarrassing the feckless King Fengel by the fact that she decided to actually serve and protect the citizens of the Mark when he did not. So she got promoted to exile. All right. And then, of course, we move through the Gap of Rohan and back to a stern ranger of the north rolling through the region of Eregion, I think it's a hard G. Tell us, Ken, tell us about Damrod Findegil.
Hi, I'm Kenneth. Now, just want to point out that Ken purposely did not introduce me as his friend, just as a stern ranger at the beginning of the call. But other than that, yeah, I'm Damrod.
You need no introduction. You need no introduction.
I'm Damrod Findegil. He's a very tall Lilth ranger. I mean, he is from the same tribe as Aragorn, but most people that don't know an elf would mistake him for an elf because of his fair complexion and hair. It's only when they see his eyes or he takes off his hat and they see that he has rounded instead of pointed ears that they realize, hey, that's not an elf. He's very stern. He's 25 and he's on his first mission and he's out to prove himself. And he wants to keep Finn in line. Make sure that he stays the course on this mission.
And last time, while recovering Finn, you hassled a tough that was spying on the young hobbit.
Yes,
well, I'm just giving folks the rest of the recap here. But yes, Damrod and a mysterious woman, another ranger of the north, naming herself Hawktail, both went to Bree, where many hobbits live as well, and met another character there, and Hugh will tell us all about him now.
Hi, my name is Finnegan Proudfeet, and I like to keep my nose clean and buried deep in the books, and that's exactly what got me into trouble, because I happened to think one looked interesting at a secondhand store, and for some stupid reason, a guy was following me around, and then some ranger and some chick from Rohan decided to scoop me up and start asking me about my personal belongings, and came to my house and saved me from a ghost wolf, and they liked my book, and then they made me come with them on a trip. So
we're a little out of order on that, but yes, a ghost wolf and a woman of Rohan was involved. That actually comes a little bit later. You got picked up there, and then if you guys recall.
Oh yeah, we went back to my house. Either way, my house was involved a bunch of times, which I don't need people in my house at all.
You smoked a bit of the pipe weed, and forgot your order on things.
All I want to do is just hang out, smoke a little old Toby, read my books, learn about herbology. And instead, I get dragged off because there's something important in my book.
And yet the road calls. The road calls to you.
Yeah, they could have just taken the book, but instead they said, "Hey, you should come with too." Yeah, thanks. So here I am.
Off you went. You did get some elvish food and music and drink out of the matter, but you also
was
got
nice.
pressed into this
Yeah.
mission. They all met on the road there and found that they were all being led on a mission to go meet with Lord Elrond of Rivendell, and there they learned from him and from the mysterious woman Hawktail, who actually turns out is Gilrain, the wife of the slain chief of the Dunedain, Arathorn, who's been dead some 15 years. They learned from her and from Lord Elrond that they are needed on a mission to go recover a treasure from the lost northern kingdom of Arnor. For those of our players following along at home, that is one of the kingdoms of men from old Numenor. Gondor is the southern one and Arnor is the northern one, and it's been gone for something like 2,000 years, I think, according to the lore.
I don't
So
want to interrupt, Ken, but
yeah.
sketch idea right off the dome. When I don't know what it was about your pronunciation, but has there ever been an Elrond Hubbard sketch? Because that seems like that might need to be a thing.
Man, there's just so much
You need to
That's
work on a script
amazing.
after this.
That's
Elrond
that'd be
Hubbard.
Your
amazing.
next
you
project.
if you want to get in touch with Hugo Weaving's agent, we can see about that. You know what I mean? Be like, Bilbo, there are many Thetans in the Shire. I don't know. We could riff on that for a while.
Yeah, that needs to be.
Elrond put you guys up to this mission, but of course the first leg of the mission to get to, they said, we found the Sceptre of Annúminas. We found out where it is, and it is one of the three things that the king of Gondor and Arnor, the reunited kingdom that we hope to see one day, it's one of the things that the king would bear. You know, it's one of his three royal treasures. So out of symbolism, we'd like it recovered because it would be a powerful and important symbol to have again. And secrecy is of the essence. You're going to head off to Annúminas, and those following along at home, there you can see on the map that actually that meant that they're going to head back west to Bree there as the first leg of the journey, and they did. Following that, they returned there, discovered that they were much sought after, that Finn is much sought after. People have been asking about him, and the Lord Mayor of the town dragged him in for questioning. They were there for a couple days, and then one of the nights that they were there, a ghostly spirit wolf creature attacked them in the middle of the night after staking out the house. And Kona's Ghostface
shield
Killa
blew.
sword. That's right, yeah. Some of the gear, they were waylaid. They were accosted along the way by undead creatures and a ghost creature too, and they defeated these fiends and won some treasure. One of them was a shield that glowed. Damrod has that. Kona's sword is Bane against ghosts and their faces. And Durnhild picked up some armor, and I believe Finn, you picked up a bow, right? Yeah, that's what you got. You know, that's where we left it yesterday. One of the other developments that we did not fully explore last time was that when Damrod was first encountering Finn and seeing the men who were tailing him, Finn shook his tail. Damrod noticed that and went after one of them to try to get the name of his boss, and rolled some absurdly high number and just intimidated the guy into giving his boss's name away, a name that was Ken will tell us later. Okay. I realized that it would be dumb not to do some kind of fill in here. So the entire adventure today is basically me proving that I plan all this stuff and that there's no detail that you guys uncover that I haven't completely mapped out. Okay. In this case, it is the local crime boss. Okay. Well, not a crime boss, but we'll get to him in just a minute. First thing, we'll sort of return now to the next morning, but I think there were one or two things. Well, first off, there's one or two things that I should make clear to our audience at home. This is an expanded rule set, an adjusted rule set of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, specifically to make it like Tolkien's Middle Earth. There's a few differences, but we're also adding a couple of fun little game things here for the purposes of charity and hilarity. One, there's the lore hammer. Okay, if I ever get anything wrong about Tolkien's Middle Earth, and any of the players or any of you fine folks at home call me on it, and we don't have somebody to monitor the comments, so I'm sorry. So if we get to it after the fact, if you drop a comment in the YouTube thing or the Facebook event or whatever, I promise I'll after the fact award something to players. But if any of the players call me out on my BS, if I get something wrong about the Legendarium, you drop the lore hammer on me, and this results in an immediate grant of you get a 20 on the next roll that you would without having to roll, or you can give it to one of your teammates. You know, has to be immediate though. All right, no saving it up for a rainy day. The other thing is that if you roll a natural 20, as in the D20 is itself is a 20 without modifiers, then it's $20 out of my own pocket to the charity right here. And we did that twice. There were 2 natural 20s last time, so I was $40 in the hole and everything. So, and they were both Ken's fault. So,
What you drinking, Ken?
I'm drinking some mead from Wild Blossom Meadery here in Illinois. That's what I'm drinking. As a matter of fact, I believe that's the name of the place. If I got it wrong, is that what it was?
Good local booze.
I like that chalice.
It's a very nice. This is one of Catherine's here. This is a very nice.
Yes. These are a Goodwill special.
Are they?
Rare and expensive.
There you go. Yep. See, we're keeping it Shirish there.
I
Exactly.
like
I'm
that.
repping Jerry Springer.
That's right. Did you get that when you went there?
Yes, I went and viewed the pay-per-view special live.
That's a Chicago institution, if ever, man. You just got to be in on a Rick Coe's show or something, and then you'll have the whole deal.
I also went and saw Bozo Buckets when I was a little kid.
Man, the waiting list was so long that like I wasn't born yet when my parents tried to put me on it. It was ridiculous. Okay, we're all from Illinois, and many of us are from Chicago here on this.
I was going to say, Ken, you've told me that story before, and it's one of the most Chicago things ever.
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah, my older sister got to be on Bozo.
I was for the freelance that I was writing yesterday. Catherine knows I was watching 3 Brian Dennehy movies in a row. That like I just
rest in peace.
I know, man. What a fucking giant. Okay, so that's what's going on. That was where we left it last time, and we'll pick up there again. And so. Here's one thing that I did not get into too much was into your guys's character backgrounds that you picked. I've been trying to review those. Since Emily Kona's character background was the Herod, right? Like that's what you picked, and I see on your sheet and everything. Did you look? Okay, you looked at that and like you considered that, and it's like haunting dreams that bother you and everything. That's the direction you wanted to go on that?
Kind of. I don't know if we want to revisit it if we have the opportunity
I was going to ask, you can at any point, if there's something about your characters that you really do not like, I am a guy who will let you respec, like within reason, like nobody can be like a paladin and then respec to a monk, like 50 sessions in or something. But like if there's like a detail about your background you don't particularly like, we can look at it again. Otherwise, I can help you make that more of a thing for your character, for instance. You know what I mean? Like by gaming something out now. Either way, do you want to sit on it or do you want to do a little something with it right now?
I will sit on it. I think she could still work with the Herod, kind of an Indiana Jones, Fortune and Glory sort of vibe.
All right. Is there any like kind of dream idea for that you had? Do you want me to come up with one, or do you want some more time to think it over?
Let me think about it.
Okay,
that's
cool.
If I don't have any Jimmy Neutron brain blasts, I'll let you know.
No, that's good. I think that's the only outstanding thing on character backgrounds, because everyone else is pretty solid in what they put and how that relates to their backstory. I just didn't look too closely at that. Okay. The next day dawns. You're about 3 days in town now. 2 of them have been taken up with bureaucratic nonsense because you guys kind of didn't come off too great with the mayor. You think you're mostly done with that, or that at least there's a respite. Does anybody want to do any shopping this first day afterward. Now you guys have woken up. You're not in any immediate danger. Anything from anybody that you guys' hearts desire?
Let's hit the town. I need a
Okay.
pipe. Mama needs a pipe.
You're gonna go for a pipe. You're gonna go for a
Mhm.
pipe. Is it?
Also, I need some arrows if I'm being practical.
You mentioned, that's right. I was going to ask you about this. You mentioned that you were like, "Hey, can I use like fire arrows or whatever?" Go ahead. Roll a d20 and add your dexterity. Let's just see what happens.
I also just bought some chalk, a tinderbox, and torches.
Very good. Adjust them on your thing. The exchange rate is 12 coppers to 1 silver.
Yeah.
Because nothing can be easy about this thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at the
Where's
right
our
here. 18. All
where's
right.
in the shop?
Emily, you can make up to 3 fire arrows. Here's what they do. They deal 1 damage when they hit something, but they deal like 1d6 fire damage, provided that whatever it is kindles or catches or something. So flammable ghosts, for instance. All right. And then certain enemies might be able to pull it out of themselves, or you can ignite like a building or something, you know. So
cool.
That. And the rest of that 18, those 15, you have made yourself some Krebane feather arrows that you took from that thing. You can share some of them with Finn if you'd like, because he just got himself that short bow, and I don't think he has any arrows. We can look up the prices, or, you know, Ken, if he will assist me, can, like, you know, quietly look up prices for people in the chat.
Yeah, I can do that.
Well, you guys can chat back and forth with him in the
fire arrows are
chat.
not in here.
What?
No, I'm making this up. You know, it's like, well, I mean, you thought of it yesterday. You thought of it last time, and now you've got some raw materials and some time in town. So why not? You know, a dwarf would know how to do that.
What page of the player's guide are we looking at for?
153. I messaged
153
you
or
in Discord.
thereabouts. Yeah. So that's going on. That'll be what Kona's up to right now. What is Durnhild up to on this day before anything else?
Do you think that I need any more arrows, or am I okay on arrows?
If you look at the prices there, or you message Ken with the prices, how many have you shot? You shot 1 or 2 of them, right?
You know, I don't remember.
You're probably fine. And I think that you're probably okay for stuff. You can pick up some easily.
All right. As long as my store of arrows is sufficient, I prefer to travel light anyway.
You're pretty well arrayed.
1 silver piece per 20 arrows.
Yeah, that's practically nothing. So yeah, if you guys all want to drop 1 silver and grab yourself another 20 for your quivers,
sure, I'll get another 20.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Damrod, you've been in and out of Bree maybe once or twice before. You know, what is the ranger from the north up to?
I guess I would, well, we're in town, so Damrod would know that he needs to enjoy himself. So he'd probably eat some nice food. He'd probably range a little bit around the town to make sure there isn't, you know, any nasties hiding about. But other than that, you know, I mean, not to like battle them, but, you know, more as like a scouting, I guess you could say, and making sure that there's no shadow beasts about. But other than that, I mean, really, he just, you know, maybe do a little shopping. I already told you that. I mean, he's not getting much, but I kind of metagamed and I was like, if we're going, because you said something about a dungeon, so I said I'm gonna buy some chalk.
Oh, you guys know that you're going for a dungeon, I think.
Okay, then yeah, I'm getting chalk and torches and a tinderbox and of course arrows because I need those. I mean, other than that, we're already not really that welcome here, so I would try to keep a low profile. Like I'd probably be in the back corner of the tavern, in the smokiest tavern, with my hat down, drinking the same flagon of ale for like an hour or two, at a time. Maybe
Go ahead and make a stealth check while you're there in the thing and see how well you blend in and how well positioned you are to perhaps find out some information.
Okay. I forgot my stealth check. I did. That was the one thing I didn't write. I didn't copy. So it's the macro. Yeah, I think I got it. Roll. D20. 6.
All right, a glorious 6. You're seen basically, and people's speech around you is guarded. So you don't see anything that tips you off to anything like that.
One of Finn's friend is like, "Oh, hey, aren't you that ranger that was like hanging out with Finn? What's up, dude?"
What's Finn up to on what may be among his last days here in town before he strikes out for the road again, if indeed he will?
I just want to say I actually did that to an undercover cop at City Trends over by Meepweb on accident once while we were on a work trip. There was a guy who I had interviewed like a week before about his undercover copping, and he walked in this big puff jacket, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he like waved at me, and I was like, "That's that undercover guy." And I was like, "Oh shit, I think he's here on a job." Whoops.
Valar preserve us. Okay, what's Finn up to?
So I'm terrified at the thought of going out on some wacky quest, that especially after seeing a ghost wolf stalking my property. But using my big brain, because I study, I am assuming that even if I stay behind, there's probably going to be some weird skulking crap coming after me regardless. And I'd probably be safer with the group, and maybe I'll learn a thing or two and get to see some cool things and add to my journal, because I like to draw, I like to sketch, I like to take notes and learn things. So I am taking the opportunity to not only choose probably the safer of two options, but also take advantage and add to my journal. So in the meantime, while we're all gathering supplies, I'm gonna hit up the shops, and I went ahead and bought some thieves tools.
Good call.
Figured that might be something worth having. Stocked up my arrows, and I also thought it might be fun to buy a couple of Dalish fireworks.
All right, cool. You've got those in your pack. Here's what happens while you're around. You're known throughout town and everything, so people are going to talk your ear off about stuff. While you're off in the shops, you hear the shopkeep or somebody else that you know there saying, there's men from Lake Town in. There's a caravan in. They've shown up, but they're sort of they're mad, or they're not mad. I'm sorry. They're sort of perturbed that they had another group of them that has not shown up, and it's been several days, and they didn't see them on the road, and so they're asking about them. None of us have seen them, so we don't know what's going on, and they are hanging out at the trading post, is what you hear.
Who is this again?
These are a group of merchants from Lake Town. So, like, they would be from back near where Kona's from, near the Lonely Mountain, but they're men. They're of the race of men.
That's pretty far, right?
Yeah, but they're like, that's the thing. They're like a long merchant caravan. It takes a long time for them to get there. But now that the dragon's been defeated and stuff, there's more commerce between the two. So it's a big deal when they show up, and it's a big deal if some of them don't show up when they're supposed to. So yeah, long way away, but the way is a bit safer now with the dragon and everything, and the orcs and goblins of the mountain defeated. So that's what you hear. I think I've gone through all of you guys doing stuff at this point. Durnhild, you're back at home, and everyone else is sort of drifting back in, trying to figure out what your guys' next move is. And Hawktail, or Gilrain, as you now know, comes back, greets you first, and waits for everybody to come back in. And she says, everyone, welcome. I have news, but you all seem like you went through something last night. Like, what happened? She says.
There was a ghost wolf that came into the house, and we chopped its head off.
This wee
Ghost
business.
Wolf. Oh. Kona's like, my kill, thank you.
There is a powerful weapon among us. We call it Ghostface Killer.
Oh, she says.
Shiny.
She looks at it like, oh, a blade of Westerness and everything. This is impressive. So she hears your guys' story and says that explains something. So I was out. I wasn't on the road. I was sort of ranging around just a bit to the north of where you guys were since you guys left Rivendell, and I've just been doing what rangers do, checking out the lay of the land and seeing if there's anything fell going on. And there was an encampment of wild men in the area here, and I was like trying to figure out what am I going to do about it when there was a big commotion and like a scream, and then a bunch of them packed up and like left. And when I went and investigated the place in the morning, I saw that one of them was just lying dead in his sleep, no wounds or anything like that. I have heard tell that the wild men can, in their dreams, take on the form of their spirit animal, like in this case, maybe a warg. And if they're slain while they're in this state, that's it. They die. That's what I think. Now that you've told me this story, that is what I think happened. I think that they were using this spirit creature from one of them in their spectral sleep dream form to spy on you guys, and you took it out before they could find out anything. The rest of them have fled the area for now, but there may be more. Here's the other thing. Oh, yeah,
So
go ahead.
I interject and just say, hold on. So you're saying that wolf that came into my home and attacked me was actually some sleepy hobo guy?
Yes, she says.
And how? Just how?
As usual, Master Proudfeet, she says, there are things in this world difficult to explain, but it is rumored that they have the ability when they sleep to enter the spirit world, which
All
is a
of them?
thing. The most powerful of them and skilled of them, she says. This one may have been, of a powerful bloodline or of the chieftain's line or something like that.
Where are they from? Where are the wild men from?
There's wild men in various parts of the map. These are ones that are from, I think, like Mount Gundabad or something, like, which is like north of where you guys are.
I read a lot, and I've never heard of a guy turning into a wolf and skulking around my garden.
Well, as Damrod would also know, the reason that you haven't heard of them turning into wolves and skulking in their gardens is that we generally tend to kill them before they get into Bree. That's one of our specialities. So, but the shadow must want something here dearly if it risked a row like that in the middle of town. So you guys are clearly being watched. Here's the other thing she says. Damrod, young man, you caught up with that guy and shook him down for information. And as I totally told you yesterday, he was the employee of, or as you totally found out yesterday, he is totally the employee of one Bill Trunchbull here in town. Finn, your hobbit
Trunchbull.
ears, prick up. Okay, you've heard this name before, and
Old Bill?
Old Bill, yeah, it's him. She says, you're familiar with him then?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then here's what you would know. I even wrote down what you would know because I do that. All right. She says, okay. First off, this guy is a local smuggler. He's been coming and going a lot of late, including leaving town and coming back on the night of the wolf ghost attack. I've been watching him the last day or two while you guys have been indisposed with the mayor. He already knows of your return and he knows of your companions. But if you want to deal with him now and make sure that he's not going to be a problem for you on your way back here again, you can do that. Otherwise, I'll rally some rangers and try to handle this instead. And that's basically her giving you guys the option. Like, do you guys want to keep pushing on with the main quest, or do you guys want to take time out and settle with it? And you guys had indicated to me that you were interested in staying here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's basically what the goal is. The goal is find out what this guy knows and stop him from being a thorn in your side in the future. Okay, like find out what's his connection to the servants of evil. Why is some guy in Bree helping them out? Finn, you know this guy by reputation. Maybe you've spoken to him once or twice. He's known as kind of a shady character about town, the type who's always got his hands in exotics and paraphernalia. You would know that he keeps the palms of the Lord Mayor greased, but that he's also not one who's known for things like, violence or kidnapping. He just sort of traffics in burgled goods and contraband from faraway lands, right? So, especially since the dwarves liberated the Lonely Mountain, he's been really flush with ill-gotten goods, right? Dwarf-made tools, jewelry, elvish clothes, the dram and weed of the Shire. He's the fact that he's had dealings with freaking Sauron is something that would be a shock to you, right? Like, you wouldn't think that old Bill had it in him. You would think, what? Like, that's like hearing that like a weed dealer has gotten tied up in terrorism or something, or like murder. There's like no good reason for it. Like, why would somebody do that? So, that's kind of the how that news strikes you. Here are the other things that you off the top of your head know. You know that this guy's a man about town. He loves to flaunt his style. You know that he can be found often at his trading post, which is at the west part of town. Many people come and go there, especially travelers. You get the impression that he's probably not going to start any trouble in broad daylight, and he's not going to move against you or your group openly, because like he always keeps his hands clean normally. And then the last thing that I would say that you would know right off the top of your head is that the Lord Mayor is going to be absolutely no help whatsoever. If you guys are going to take care of this, you guys are probably going to take care of it on your lonesomes. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what you know. Does anybody, like, you want to relate all of this to your party members? Anything that you want to say or to ask Gilrain? Any of you at all?
I go ahead and share everything you just said to me. I share what I know with the party. I have no reason to hold any of that back. So I'm letting them know, like, hey, I'm pretty shocked that this, like, the guy's no good. Like, I'm not, I'm not hanging out with him at the pub, but I'm also like, I wouldn't expect this of him. So this is pretty shocking to me. But if we're gonna figure this out, the mayor and the cops in town aren't gonna do much for us. So I'm not suggesting we kick down his door, because that's not anything I'm interested in doing. But if you have any suggestions, we might be able to go have a chat with him. I don't think he's deep enough in the pockets of the authorities to like open fire on us with a crossbow in broad daylight with a crowd. So if we happen to run into him while he's flaunting his stuff around town, we might be able to just corner him and have a chat.
And that's basically what Gilrain says. Like, you speak wisely, she says. Especially, and here's what I'll say to the rest of the party. Gilrain is saying this to you rougher types. Spilling blood in a ridiculous way here in Bree is not an option. That's gonna waylay your quest terribly, and it's not going to serve the plot very well or the tone of the story. So don't do that, but if things take a turn and you need to defend yourselves, remember that the rules say that if you melee somebody, you can choose to pull your punch at the end and knock them out instead of kill them. That's always a rule that I impose. Bows and arrows and stuff are a different story, but everything else is pretty fair game to not. There you go. Yeah, you can also do that. You can also do that, you know. But she says, I'll give you two proper options here. You can go in daylight and you can take things slowly, carefully, and with the mindset that you are conducting an investigation to try to collar somebody. Okay, not an adventure like a crazy hit squad dungeon dive, but an investigation. Okay, find out whatever you can and then present your evidence to the authorities. The other option, she says, quicker, perhaps a little less clean, is wait for nightfall, bust into the place, and try to extract whatever it is that will tell us what it is we need to know, and then get the heck out of there while the getting's good. Those are your two options, she says, basically. I'm known to them. I'm not going to be very much help here. And I also want to be ranging around outside town and keeping an eye on the wilderness. Now that we know that there are Krebane and wild men and spirit wargs around, I think that I want to be outdoors, keeping an eye on what's happening in the countryside, and leave this to you, you know. But anybody have any options on any opinions rather to say on how you guys want to approach this situation generally, knowing that this guy and his cadre of guys are generally going to be at the trading post where you know where you're going to be able to find them.
Thorn in your side now is a thorn in your side in the future. So we do need to deal with this.
Would it be possible for some of us to be in, like, for a couple of us to go and chat with him in broad daylight while the others went and did some snooping at his home or office, since we're occupying his time?
Sure, that would be a possibility.
I heard an old saying when I was when we were visiting with Elrond, and he said, "Do not split the fellowship."
That's generally very sound advice from Lord Elrond. That was definitely the first guy to ever say that. But, you know, if you're in a situation where like you think that you'll be close enough to each other that you can get in touch easily and everything.
I mean, yeah, if that's an option, I out of character, I wouldn't really want to like be like, oh, you know, some people go talk to this guy and then the other people try to storm the dungeon, you know.
Yeah.
And, like that would just you'd just
Damrod's advice is noted. So
yeah.
do
But
you guys
I'm also not a very charismatic character, so honestly, like my vote is to like go at night. But if people don't want to do that, then I'll go with them during the day and just keep watch.
how's everybody else feel?
If there's a desire to try going during the day, I would be willing to approach him as a diplomat and ask for information on the incursions of dark creatures who may be servants of the Dark Lord in Rohan, and see what he says and see if we can feel out what we're dealing with here before we try sneaking around dishonorably.
And Durnhill would not have been seen necessarily by his guys that you know of yet, so that's not a bad idea. Damrod's definitely been spotted. They know Finn, you know, and Kona's not yet been. You don't think necessarily spotted yet, you know. So maybe they know of you, but they wouldn't know that you're the one and everything. So that's one possibility. How does everybody feel about that possible course of action?
It's good to me.
Well, I like the quick and dirty extraction route. That seems well thought out, and we can go that way.
You guys want to head over there and take a look at what's going on and see what you see?
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we've got a scent on that. Let me pull up. I am going to drop this in the chat for you guys to peruse at your leisure, but then I'm briefly going to share the screen for our viewers at home. Give me 1 second while I find this file. Go ahead and
now a word from our sponsors.
Yeah, right.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, actually, I could share that screen. Oh, it's nice. You can put tops up things there. All right. Can everybody see that in the thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my not well scanned thing because the piece of paper is larger than the scanner thing. So you're cutting off at the bottom there. General store. That's supposed to be a general store down there, and that's supposed to lead back to the town square. This thing here, and this is supposed to be a well. As you guys can tell, I'm a great artist. You guys would be
Phenomenal.
approaching on this area here. Does my pointer show when you
Mhm.
guys are seeing? Okay, well, you guys can see. You guys would be approaching here. There's this sort of connection between the two buildings that like spans over the road there, a little archway, you know. There's some vendor stalls over here where they're unaffiliated salespeople sort of hawking their wares from out of town. You see Bill's big hall right there. And this is a mead hall and just the place where he holds court, right? Like you kind of walk in, you can get a table, you know, and he's got his lord's chair up there. More and more ostentatious with each passing year, Finn has heard people say, you know. Um, and then over here on the west side there, you've got the livery, which is where, you know, people from out of town are storing their horses. Firefoot cannot bear to be parted from Durnhild, however. So, you know, he's loyally remaining by her side. You guys approach, we'll say you approach from the south there because that's where you would be coming from. And here's what you see. You see quite a bit of activity, as there normally is. You've got things like wagon carts, people on horses, people with wares coming in out from the farmlands are coming in with their, you know, their farmers market stuff. People from town are coming in, and you guys are all seeing that. There are some dwarves there too. Kona will note there are some dwarves, big manly man dwarves, and they've got mining stuff on their shoulders, but they've clearly like come in with some you know, ore or maybe even some jewelry or something like that, you know. And you also see those of you who would recognize them as such. Kona definitely would recognize them as such. There are men from Lake Town there as well, and this must be the party that Finn heard about. And they're like, some of them look worried. Other ones are wandering around and buying things. Others are talking. Some are going in and out of Bill's hall there, and that's what you see going on right now from outside, from just outside each of the buildings. So I'm going to drop this. I'm going to go ahead.
What's the star thingy in the upper right corner?
Oh, that's my little illumination. That's the scepter you guys are going after.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to stop share right now, and I'm going to drop that same file there here in the scene chat here on Discord. And you guys can tell me who wants to go where and do what in the meantime. And I guess we can just start going for, you know, in order and everything. So we can go with Kona first to say what she might want to do.
I mean, my first instinct is to go over to the dwarves and just be like, "What's up?" But then I'm easily distractible. So, I feel like that's not serving the mission.
It might be. I mean, you never know. You walk up, go on ahead, and I mean, you see that they're from the Iron Hills. They're not from where you're from. So go on ahead and make a traditions or charisma check or something. See how you come off with them.
My charisma is -1.
It happens to a man.
Okay, cool. So okay, we'll see what happens.
We will indeed see what happens. What did happen? 15 ain't bad. All right. Kona walks up and gives a proper greeting to these sons of Durin, and they're like, "Whoa," you know, like they're all just like, "What? A dwarf maiden out so far here from the mountains? What is going on?" They don't really know what to do with you. They're like, "Hurrah, incredible. Where are you from? Whose daughter are you?" They're like, you know, wanting to know stuff. Some of them are like, but a couple of them are like, "Whoa," you know. So you kind of have like a mixed reaction, but not like a hostile one from them.
Okay.
Anything that you want to ask them? Anything you want to tell them?
Just look, I'm on this mission right now. I'm looking for, who am I looking for? Who's the guy? What's his name?
Well, you're looking for Bill at this trading post, right?
Yeah. Okay. So what do you know of Bill? What was his name? Trunchbull.
Trunchbull, yeah.
It reminds me of the principal from Matilda.
That's because the principal of Matilda is his like distant ancestor, like that,
Okay.
or distant descendant, I mean to say.
Okay. Well, already I hate him. But what do you know about this Bill Trunchbull guy? What do you is he an honorable guy? What are you guys have you had
Honorable, not a bit. I mean, he's not a dwarf, So like, for one thing, let's be real. One of the guys says, but no, I mean, you know how it is with these tall folk. I mean, we deal with them when we feel like it. He's not honorable, but he pays good coin for jewelry that we're willing to part with, and why not? He doesn't mind buying our iron either. So, so they're just like, he's convenient because he buys our stuff. That's basically their opinion of him.
Okay.
You're talking with them. What's Dernhild up to at this moment?
Well, I'm going to take Firefoot and go straight to the mead hall to seek an audience with him.
All right. You Firefoot deigns to be hitched to the hitching post out in front, and you stride up the wooden stairs to this mead hall here, and immediately it's like, the honky tonk piano goes quiet. Everybody like looks around like, because you are, for most of these guys here, you are probably the tallest woman they've ever seen, and you're also one of the few ever that they've seen arrayed in a full suit of armor with like a sword and a bow on your back and a shield and everything and a helm under your arm and everything. You walk in, it's a busy dining hall. There's servers going back and forth, and there's a guy who looks kind of like he's like the major domo of the place, right? A little on the older side, a man, kind of has a bit of a rough look about him. Looks like he can handle himself. Shorter than you, though, and he kind of walks up and he's like, how can we be of service today, ma'am? He says, sort of like looking at you like, where is she from? What's up with this? Does she even speak common? What's going on here?
I say that I crave an audience with Bill Trunchbull.
Are they really condescending about it? Are they like, do you speak common?
No, but he's like, he literally doesn't know what to do with her. It's not even gotten to the point where he would be condescending, like he just kind of is uncertain of himself, like he's nervous. But he says, oh, well, he says, a lot of people want an audience with old Bill. He's a busy man, as you can see, and he kind of gestures back, and you see there is a guy there's a raised stage kind of area there, a long table. It's very reminiscent of like Lord's halls back in Rohan, which you find to be in kind of poor taste. Like, this guy isn't nobility or anything like that. He's just a guy, So right off, that may or may not rub you the wrong way as far as your character goes. But he is a guy, who keeps his shirt unbuttoned down to like the fourth button on his button-down shirt if he were from here, right? Like, that's kind of the deal and everything. Middle-aged guy, gray in his hair, shot through with gray, kind of not an impressive physical specimen by any means, but just full of finery. Loose-fitting silken clothes, jewelry on every single finger and in every earlobe, very like wears like some like necklace and everything like that, and just schmoozing with everybody and going on and on with the people that are speaking to him. Like, there'll be people coming up like, oh, Bill and everything. He's like, yeah, just gesturing a lot and laughing and getting them to laugh at his jokes. You can't quite pick up what he's talking about, but there's several people down in front of him there getting the business from him. And that's kind of what you see. And this guy is saying basically like, he's awfully busy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe next week sometime,
So this scene definitely rubs me the wrong way. I am most comfortable on the plane of battle, and talking and drinking and pointless intrigue irk me to no end. So I raise my voice loud enough to bring an end to all of this pointless, shallow conversation. And I say, "Good morrow, sir. I bring greetings from the Mark, and I'm here on urgent business of Fengal King, if you don't mind."
Okay. All right. This does quiet the room. This like big Viking woman is like, "What?" And he goes, so he kind of stops and like someone else like starts whispering to him and he just like holds a hand up like, wait a minute. He goes, young lady, my goodness, I don't think I've only even heard of the land of Rohan. Why don't you come closer and tell me more about it and everything? And so he sort of beckons you forward. We'll resolve some of that next. What's Damrod up to while this is going on?
Well, I mean, I see my party splitting off, so I'm gonna find a good vantage point to where if I need to run because I see trouble. I know it's not crazy, but he's more. He doesn't run to. I mean, like he did want to run and raid the place, but that's different than in broad daylight. Like he kind of wants to watch everyone and make sure that, if trouble happens, he can take out his great bow and be of service instead of, standing right next to somebody or not seeing what's going on around him. So I guess he'd try to find a good spot to remain. I'm going to try and roll, I guess, stealth again to try and remain unnoticed.
Well,
And
let's go ahead and say that you're going to roll perception and you're going to see what you perceive to be the most advantageous
Okay.
place for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
to take a position
Cool.
where you can kind of see where everybody is or where you might best be used.
Oh, wait, so my perception. Sorry, I'm just figuring that out again. Okay, I figured it out. And I'm going to roll.
That is a 16. All right, that ain't bad. Okay. As your party members are kind of moving around there, you sense that if you wander in while Dernhild is taking up the attention of Bill, that he is going to notice you and maybe feel threatened. Furthermore, you can see that if you hang too close to Kona, then you're going to make her seem with these dwarf boys that maybe she's not to be trusted.
She's hanging with a tall person.
Tall guy.
He's like
yeah.
over 6 foot. So like,
yeah. So, you're like, by the way, perception was also enough for you to notice, as Hugh was mentioning in the chat there, that he slipped in behind Dernhild,
Oh, I didn't see where in the chat.
Is
that general? Or is that in the?
I think you chatted me at the thing. It's cool.
Okay.
But anyway,
I didn't see it. So I'm just gonna. Then what I'll do.
Here's what I'll say that you figure. You figure that they're kind of covering that area. You'll take a look at the general store and see if anything's going on there. Here is what you discover. You head on up onto the porch of it. You kind of peek in through the windows to see if anything's going on there. It's bustling. People are going in. They're purchasing goods. Here's what you notice. There is a man that you know well because he is the same guy that you hassled the other day for tailing Finn. He is there and he is behind the register or whatever they would use for a register, the ledger, I guess, here. And
counter.
he's writing, he's behind the counter writing out receipts for people and taking their coin and handing them their orders and stuff. He does not see you yet. But you recognize it has to be the same guy. It has to be.
Is there like, I don't know. I guess I don't know if this makes sense, but I guess I would go around back to wait for him to take a smoke break. Like, I don't know.
You can settle your investigation on him at the moment. You want to tail him and see what he does and keep yourself hidden.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a stealth on that and try to keep yourself unseen.
Okay. Fail me now. Rolls. Nope. Almost did 2d20. That's not.
19.
19.
All right.
Yes.
This guy is not going to notice you. You slip around like a shadow, and you just keep a very close eye on the general store and what he's doing there. We'll see what he does in a bit. Okay, Finn, you indicated to me that you want to slip in kind of behind Durnhild and grab a corner table or something and see what you can see. What are you going to be doing now? What's up, man? Sorry, you're muted.
When I have the chat window open, for some reason, it insists on just making a row of spaces instead of letting
well,
the space bar to
I don't
unmute.
know.
So
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
stupid. Okay, so I've snuck in to the bar, right?
Yep.
And I'm watching this, and so I'm gonna go and order a drink because I've been here before. Right?
Sure.
Sure.
You probably would have at some point.
Yeah, once or twice. I mean, it's not like my favorite place, but I would have had an excuse to be here. So I'm just kind of playing it cool. I just want to keep an eye on the, like, I'm not used to this. I'm not like I'm a hobbit. I'm not a Jason Bourne type who's just like, I'm going to keep an eye on the surroundings and make sure, like, but at the same time, like, I know what's going on. I know that we're in like a dangerous situation. So if she's going to go and talk to like pretty much the low of a mob boss in town, I just want to just hang out, lay low, grab a pint, and see if I can notice anyone else acting sketchy while she's talking to him, because obviously he's gonna have some buddies that are gonna be keeping. So I'm just gonna kind of just have a look around while she's chatting with him, see if I can overhear anything or
Okay. Go ahead and roll an insight, I would say.
All right.
If that's a good skill for you.
Gotta pull up my stuff here. All right. So, insight would be okay. Yeah, that would be +3.
Oh, let's get some crits tonight, guys.
I know. Yeah.
Don't get too many
Okay,
crits.
here we go. Roll.
I don't get paid again until a couple weeks. 13. Okay. All right. On a 13, that's enough for you to notice that as he's pulling Durnhild in to be like, oh, young lady of the mark, come and talk to me and stuff, he also signals somebody else. And just a sort of a thing. And a couple of other people leave the room and head into the back area there. It's not the same back area as servers are going in and out of, though. So it's either a storeroom or a back office or some kind of chamber. And it's a couple of guys went and did that. And you saw them head around that way, you know. So.
Okay. Can I grab my drink and maybe just wander off that area? I don't want to like follow them and like sneak in there, but can I maybe just kind of wander around like I'm looking for a friend and maybe skulk around that area to see what's going on in that where that room leads?
You definitely can. You decide to head over there. I'm going to go ahead and say try to make a stealth and see what you get. Like, you're not going to get like killed if you fail or anything, but let's just see what you do.
15.
15. All right. 15 is good enough that you're not immediately noticed, but here's what you get. A 15 is enough. You get up to that area near that door and everything. You're able to see like through, it's got like, you know, a barred window in it and stuff. Well, you're awfully short. You hop up on a table real quick. It's not an uncommon occurrence around here. You hop up on a table, laugh with the guys getting drunk at that table. You peek through the window real quick and you see that it looks like there's like a hallway that goes through, and then it seems like maybe there's like stairs leading down to a cellar or something like that. You don't see anything else, and you can't stay that visible for too long unless you want to, but your sense is that if you keep trying to mess with that area there, you are going to get spotted. Maybe not in trouble immediately, but you are going to get spotted and you're going to get recognized. So how do you want it? Do you want to keep trying to press on that, or do you want to pull back for the moment?
I'll hop off the table for sure and
Uh-huh.
kind of pat everyone on the back and say like, hey, good song. and I think so. So she's over. Is she talking with old Bill already? Is she up with him
She's
now?
talking with him now, and we are now going to go back to Durnhild there. Durnhild, you've been brought into this guy's presence. What are you now going to say for yourself now that you've got his full and undivided attention?
So I'll introduce myself again, and I will say that Rohan has been troubled by some servants of the enemy, by the occasional orc, by wild men, by unaccountable, strange creatures that only could have come from the Dark One. And we believe that he may be rising again. And in the course of my diplomatic duties, that I happen to be passing through Bree, and am wondering what he knows of these happenings and these fell creatures.
Here's what you get from that. He's a pretty cool cat, but his other guys there are made extremely nervous when you begin speaking so forthrightly about evil and the servants of evil and stuff like that. He starts in on some bullshit like, oh, that those are just children's tales. I mean, we are so sorry to hear of whatever, but we don't know of things here. We're just simple folk with our pipe weed and our whatever. And he's kind of bullshitting around that kind of thing, speaking very floridly, but nothing that is particularly useful to you. Go ahead and roll a perception check and see if you can notice anything else going on while he's clearly just trying to mess with you, clearly just trying to distract you.
What do I use for perception?
It's wisdom if you don't have it.
Wisdom. Okay.
Yeah. A 13. Okay. Well, these guys are most of his guys are just a little bit nervous, but there is something about that same major domo guy who let you in. He's very perturbed by this line of questioning. Like, he seems like he's scared or guilty or like panicked a little bit. And he actually, after you notice him, like, this guy's Bill's talking at you, you're looking around clearly, like, paying attention to him to be polite, but also like eyeballing all of his guys. And when your gaze falls on this guy, he sees that he's been made. On a 13, he sees he's been made, at least. And he kind of comes forward like, we'll absolutely, surely, make some time for you to tell us all about the tales and songs of Rohan and her troubles too, he says. But for now, let me offer you a good tankard of ale and the best meat in town and all this stuff. And then he kind of sort of, hustles Bill off of the dais there and gets him back in the back room and everything. And Finn would notice that he's going through the same entry there that the other two guys went through a second ago. And then all of these guys are gone. The place has returned to its normal raucous atmosphere and everything, and he's kind of left. And that's what you managed to get out of him there. You can hang around or you can get going. Finn can do the same, But in the meantime, let's go back to Kona because she's talking with the dwarves out there. What's going on with you? Is there anything more you want to ask these guys, or anything else you want to look for outside if you're not going to ask them anything?
I suppose I would just ask them that, look, I am on a mission here with a group of tall folk. If things would happen to go sideways, would you be able to help us out?
I mean, we don't help tall folk as a general rule unless we're being told, but what are you in the midst of? What's a fine young lass like you with such a beautiful Scottish brogue in this, I'm assuming, right?
You're wanting me to. Nope, that went to Irish.
No, that's no. Okay, never mind. We don't need to do any of that. We don't need to do any of that. Anyway, you're fine. Trust me. Anyway, they're like, what are you on about? I guess they do ask you for more specifics about your mission.
My business is my business. It's nothing dishonorable. Yeah. I don't know how to get out of that.
Nothing dishonorable, huh? That sounds really. They're like, yeah, sure, okay. Well, they're like, well, if you'll be a bit more open with us, maybe we can be a bit more helpful to you. But we'll wish you luck. Simply, he says. For now, that's what he's about.
Okay.
I will say there's the lake men there too. They would be folk that you would be kind of in with because they're from your general area of the map and everything. So
okay.
they're
I
around
can go
too.
check them out. I don't mind going to talk to them. I just don't know what all I'm gonna get out of it. So I suppose we can go chat hail with the good lake folk.
You can.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to just kind of hang and see what they're talking about first and see if you want to interject?
Yeah. Are they talking about anything juicy?
They are talking about how this other expedition of their countrymen did not arrive here when they thought they were going to, and they've been missing, and they're worried. Some of them are like, oh, it's fine. And others are like, no, they're 5 days gone now that they haven't been in when they should have been. So there's kind of back and forth going on around that. Some of them are dismissive of it, but others are not. I'll say that you do suss out who the leader of the expedition is. It's a tall, older gentleman. He does have a beard. It's no dwarf beard though. It's not like yours. But by man reckoning years, he's fairly on the middle-aged side, and he's kind of trying to keep the arguments down and keep people on task. Anything you want to do with these guys?
Can I pull aside the leader at all? And
you can hail him. You walk up and you introduce yourself, and I would say that you would have he would react to you in a way that is not as he's not as much of a chumbalone as the other people in town here.
Yeah.
Because he knows that you're from Erebor based on your dress and your manner of speech. He says, a dwarf maiden, my goodness. I've rarely seen your at all. Some of these idiots here, and he points to some of the people. He's kind of joking. Some of these chowderheads over here say that there are no dwarf women, and that dwarfs merely spring out of the ground. But of course, that's ridiculous, he says. How can I help you? He says.
Dwarf maiden in the flesh, sir. It's good to see you. What brings you to town? I heard tell you're missing part of your party.
Well, we've over the past few years, since your folks so valiantly liberated the Lonely Mountain and opened trade up again, we've found it a good use of our time to come here west of the Misties and trade as far west here as Bree. Some of us have even been to Buckland, but there's some as talk about a place, Hobbiton, even further past the old forest, and none of us have been there yet. Ha ha ha. But anyway, he says, yes, there was another expedition with some of my kin, and they went about a fortnight before we did. Some of the rest of us needed longer to get our portion of the harvest in, and we couldn't leave yet. And now we arrive here to find that despite the fact that they left so much earlier than we did, they've never arrived. So, and we've seen and we heard at every point on the road where we were stopping, oh, yes, they came through here a few days ago. Oh, yes, we came through here a few days ago. And now we get here to Bree and they're gone. So I'm worried, he says.
Do you suspect anyone here of doing anything?
I don't know, he says. These Breelanders here are not rough and tumble folk for the most part, he says. They seem like they like their hearth fires and they like their festivals. I don't know. But then, and he kind of looks around here, he's like, shady places like this with characters like Bill make me wonder sometimes. I don't know, But we're here asking, and we'll be here in town trading for a while. But if we find anything, if you hear something, will you please let us know, he says. We would be much obliged.
Of course, if I hear anything, I'll share it with you.
Well, thank you.
Can I wander toward the hall where everyone is and just kind of hang out in the back now?
Yeah, you can. You
Okay.
totally can.
Okay.
So you head in there, and you see Dernhild and Finn are now there. But let's, as you're doing that, let's go see what Damrod is up to right now. Damrod, you've been on this guy like white on rice. Okay, you rolled a really effective stealth roll. So you see him leave his post there at the general store and kind of move, and he goes across that bridge, right? The one that goes over the little southern road there into the other outbuilding of the general store. And that is where you gather that there's like some supplies or office or something like that. Something that's not really where the rest of the sales are transacted. You snoop along behind him, and as you look, he enters the building there. You kind of peek in and get a good look at him, and he's heading down into a cellar in that building there, and you see that he's entered there. What I will say is this: if you do enter that area there, like if you're spotted, you'll be in trouble. Like if you're spotted now, you're in a low alert area right now. No one's gonna question your business or anything. They'll think that it's interesting that a Dunedain is here, but they're not gonna get on you for it. Do you want to follow him anyway, or do you want to pull back and reunite with your party?
I already gave the advice of not splitting the party, so I guess I will, the fellowship.
Yes.
So I'll double back, but note that I saw him go down into a cellar.
All right. You come in and you come meet up with Kona, Finn, and Dernhild there. You guys are now all sort of at the entrance, I guess, of the mead hall there, of Bill's hall there. Any suggestions for how you guys want to proceed?
Well, it seems that I guess, I don't know. So I'm guessing we're recapping, I guess, at this point with each other.
Yeah, you guys can bring each other up to speed, and then
That's what I
guess
mean.
if anybody then has any advice about or about plans about what you want to do next or where you want to go next, now would be the time, I guess.
If the Lady of Rohan could give me a quick recap on what Finn missed while he was giving cats insulin, that would be good.
Oh, okay. Yes. Dernhild, go ahead and give us a rundown on the last few things.
Yes. Bill Trunchbull will be little help to us. He is a pompous man who knows little, but there is a gentleman in the hall, my perceived, knows much of the evil creatures we have encountered and may be persuaded to talk. He was brought into the back area down the stairs. I don't know if he might emerge again, and I might have opportunity to impress my presence upon him such that he may give us additional information, or if it may be helpful for us to be together when we encounter him, or if others have thoughts. But I believe that he is key to finding out more about these fell creatures.
So is that, I mentioned that I saw some people going down into the cellar also. Is that the same person?
That would be the same. That's a different person, but the same area that they went into. And to remove any doubt from the equation, as Dernhild is explaining this, the same guy that she was fingering there comes out, again, and she's like, yeah, that guy, you know what I mean? And he comes out.
Do I recognize him?
You, I guess you would recognize him. I didn't give this NPC a name, but you would know him by face, We'll call him Rob,
Old Rob.
Old Rob. Old
I think
Bill.
we
Old
should get
Rob.
old Rob liquored up. I mean, if our little friend Proudfeet is recognizes him enough that he could offer him a drink and just pull him in, we could try going that route.
Possibly.
But he's also, if he's in league with some dark stuff that involves me, I think that might be kind of suspicious that the person that he's like working to screw over just happens to show up and make a cold call for a drink.
Finn, do you want to make yourself scarce for the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say that, but I would also say like this is your town. Why wouldn't you be walking around and enjoying like the festivities?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna necessarily lay low, but I'm not gonna be like, "What's up, buddy?" to the guy that I don't know. Like we're
Yeah.
not buddies, so I'm not gonna like walk up to him and be like, "Hey, what's up, old Rob?" So
Well,
I'm just
Finn's
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
yeah, Finn doesn't want to be the front man, and Durnhild has announced herself very ostentatiously. Does anyone else want to give it a try to be the front person for this next gambit?
I have negative to my charisma,
Hmm.
so unless somebody else,
My
Emily, I don't.
charisma is also negative, but
Oh,
okay. Here,
okay.
hold on. Let me rethink this here.
I just like.
Okay,
I
what
mean,
if we play it this way? So I'm not gonna walk up to him and be like, "Hey, I don't know you,
oh,
but let me buy you a drink anyway." But I
is
could
my
just
internet? Am I losing everyone?
No, we hear you.
Okay, Hugh cut out for a minute. I think if I plug in my computer.
gotcha.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's saying that my connection to the internet is unstable.
Wow.
AT&T fiber, when it's working, it's awesome.
This
But
this session brought to you by AT&T Fiber. Good
Yeah.
when it's working.
yeah,
Boom.
it's crazy because sometimes I'll be downloading, like I'll test my speed, and I'll be like, it'll say you have very fast internet. That's what speed test whatever comes
Also
back
brought
with.
to you by Comcast Xfinity. No, I don't want to upgrade my package.
Yeah, but then I'll go to download something, and then it'll go from like 15 megabytes per second to 10 kilobytes a second.
Was
in like a
that's
minute.
like that? This was one mission in like Call of Duty 2 or
Yeah.
whatever, like where it's just like, oh no, I'm getting shot by like every Russian in the universe, and then the download speed on the thing you're trying to download like
Yeah.
keeps fluctuating.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, Finn. I'm sorry. Remind me what you just said.
So
My bad.
What if I just because again we're pretty sure that no one's gonna just like decide to have a shootout in the middle of town right now.
You're confident that as long as you're maintaining
Yeah.
a reasonable, non-hostile presence, they are not going to start
And-
stuff.
And I, as scared as I am right now with all of this, something about being in this group of people who are worried about charisma and about making the right coming with the right foot forward. I'm just feeling a little brash
tough
right
to-
now.
yeah.
And so I'm thinking about what if I just saddle up and do offer a drink, but instead of offering a drink under the guise of like, "Hey stranger, who are you?" Why don't I just sit down with this guy and say, "Hey, I hear your buddies are looking for me. What's that all about?"
Go for it.
Oh,
I'm
that's
going to go
good.
ahead and say, take this with advantage because you have your posse right here with
Yeah.
you. And
I'd
I'm gonna,
also
here's
say-
how this is. Here's how
This
I'm
guy
going to say
talks
this
to
is going to happen.
horses. Well, you
Here's
do
how I'm
too.
going to
Okay.
say this is going to happen. The three of you others are like try to kind of come in and like or something, and like you're not finding the words, and then Finn just walks in and is like, "Hey, me and my friends here want to have a talk with you or something. So go on ahead and make a charisma roll."
Hand on the wall. So, do you like ale?
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Come here often,
yeah.
Like,
And so that-
saw you in this place.
Yeah, so that would just be a charisma. Okay,
that'd be a
let's see.
charisma, yeah. Oh, look
Oh,
at that.
baby.
Oh,
Roll again to see if you get a 20 and cost me money, you bastard. Oh,
what?
try again.
Oh, hold on.
Man, I dumped
Oh.
all.
at
I
least
realized
19.
that as I set up the sheet for most of you guys, I dump statted everybody's charisma. That's my fault. All right.
I only had a
So-
+1 to charisma.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's better than -1.
there's no sorcerers in this game, so nobody has a good reason to have charisma as their primary. Anyway, okay, Finn, yeah, you do this, and this guy, old Rob, is like, must think, what the fuck do I have to lose? And he sits down. I swore. I'm sorry. He sits down.
You already swore once. You
I
you broke
know.
that seal a long
I've been
time ago.
back, and I've been a bad DM. Okay, so you guys sit down, And he
Did
says,
you just do it? Did you just quote Genie? Was
Did
that what
I?
that bad was?
No, I just couldn't think of anything to say. He sits down and he says, what on earth are a man, a rider of Rohan, a dwarf, and a halfling doing here? What is going on? He says, tell me that first.
Well, we were minding our own business when a ghost wolf strutted into my house trying to steal my books, and I hear you got something to do with those guys. So I think again, the question goes back to you. What do you want with me?
He looks around, says, I don't want anything. It's Bill that wants something, and it's not him that wants something. It's somebody else who is making him look after you. These
Yeah, okay.
these folks, they can't move around here, not in daylight anyway. You know, all of these things that Bill's bringing into town here, where do you think he gets them? You know, it's not all dwarf traders and lake men and everything. At least not ones that are giving it up of their own volition, if you follow me.
But when this has been going on forever, like I've seen this stuff. I've lived here my whole life, and I've known of my entire adult life. I've known of old Bill's goings on over here. Never involved me until now. So what's that all about?
He says, here's what, when they knocked that dragon out of the mountain, two things changed. One, lots more business started coming through here, but also stranger folks started coming through here besides just the elves and dwarves, you know, the Mirkwood elves and the Erebor dwarves and the Iron Hills dwarves. Bill's gotten a taste for more treasure than he's ever had before. You've noticed it too over the past 5 years. I know you have. This place has grown. Now he's grown too greedy, and he's seeking for coin even from folks that aren't going to give it to him willingly. And he's made deals with these shady folk who are from I don't know where to try to get the strong arm muscle to do it more often. That's what I think. And I didn't sign up to be no cutthroat, he says. That's the thing. You know, I started here when it was, fell off the back of a cart. Oh, paid a good price for it down at the Dale or something. I didn't sign up for, you know, uh, you know, blood work or anything, he says. You know, he's like furtively like looking around, seeing if anyone's paying attention to him or whatever. He's like, you know, we can't talk here anymore or something, you know, maybe come to my home later. You know, he says, I can't be seen here talking to you and everything. And he kind of gets up and he hustles off. Do you guys want to leave it at that? Or do you guys want to keep pressing him? Or what do you guys want to do?
I think. I mean, can I can I tell if he's sincere or not? Can I tell whether or not?
Go ahead and roll insight. That's how you would see if you can get a good read on whether or not he's telling the truth. And any one of the rest of you, if he doesn't roll well, can try to get that a 6. All right. Any one of the rest of you can see if you've got a better insight roll than that, because he's talking to all of you. So
That was at a +3. How did I get a?
you roll a 3 with the +3 is how you get a 6. Mathematical.
It's no good.
What are we adding? Our charisma?
Insight, or I believe insight is wisdom. I believe.
Well, I have +0 on any of them, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Boom. Durnhill's not coming through either, unfortunately.
Man. Okay, we
It
all
happens.
suck at.
Oh.
Get our weak rolls out of the way now.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you guys are not. Oh,
Hold up.
Damrod, the stern eyes of the Northern Ranger, however, pierce into this guy.
Silent and strong.
The rest of you are like, I don't know if I trust him or something. And Damrod, you simply say, I do. You know, and here's what you get off of that. You get that you believe that he is being sincere, and that it took him a great deal of bravery to speak out, even in the bit that he did. Here's the other thing that you gain from sitting there and speaking with him for a while. Damrod, you saw the guy at the general store head into another building there and then head down into the basement or the cellar there. This same guy exits from the same door that Finn's been seeing people come through. You see him walk out and everything. So you see him walk out of that door there, and immediately you're like, okay, you know. So that's, you
So
know,
there's like an underground chamber or something that leads from one place to another. Whether we've got like a tunnel.
I've been muted this whole time and I've been
Oh, sorry.
talking.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, man.
I was like, what? They have a secret underground bunker? And then Hugh said it right after me. I'm like, okay, so this happened to be in a session with Ken too, where people were saying my jokes. Like when I was saying them, and I was like, I guess I just didn't say it funny enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
How's everybody feel about taking about a 5-minute break
Yeah,
here?
let's do a
and then
5-minute.
coming back, we'll do a bathroom break, grab another beer and everything, and then we will come back in 5 minutes. And as we're doing that, Hugh, you want to maybe play us off with some music here while I mute and everything, and then we will be back in 5 minutes.
Yes.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm gonna go get a beer.
Coming back here in just a bit as soon as we've got everybody. Now that I've got some more meat, of course.
And my invisible elixir.
All right. We've had some changes of lighting. We've refilled here. And as soon as we've got our other two party members, we will continue. Hugh's back. One of my favorite things ever. One of my favorite soundtracks ever, really. No, no.
Howard
No
Shore
kidding.
is a madman.
Hey, it's so. Has he not been doing as much stuff lately? Because my goodness, that
I mean-
Road to Perdition was another absolutely incredible soundtrack of his for like a movie that like people barely remember now. You know,
I never
Right.
watched that movie. I read the book that it was.
it's really good. Yeah,
It's,
I did. I
hard-
read the graphic novel as well. It's an amazing movie, and the soundtrack to it is incredible.
Yeah,
Wait.
let's watch that one again.
Did
Yeah,
he
we should watch that one again.
do the score to the Twilight movies?
I don't know.
I'm looking at his IMDb, and he's listed under like his second, like, you know, they have the top hits. It shows known for Lord of the Rings and Twilight Saga Eclipse, and then The Aviator and something else. So that's no good.
Moving right along after that one. Moving right along. You guys have this contact in this fellow. He is going to be there working during the day. You guys would know that he would work until probably sundown. So if you are willing to delay your quest to wait for sundown and then try to tail this guy to his home and see if you get more information about him out of him, there's that. The other things that you have determined at this point is that apparently they're uncomfortable hearing about the shadow. They have a back room there, and apparently there's an underground ability to transport between the general store and the hall. Those are the pieces of information so far that you've gathered, and that you've heard believable suspicion from this one guy who's placed in his organization. How do you guys want to proceed next?
So I'm wondering if it would be worth. This is just a suspicion, but I think that guy seemed pretty nervous. And if our ranger friend thinks that he was telling us the truth, what if we tail him and keep our distance, but keep an eye on him, just because he said meet me at my house. What are the odds that someone's going to jump him and smack him down and keep him from talking to us if we show up at his house later tonight and all of a sudden he's gone? Like something smells fishy. So I wonder if we could keep an eye on him. That way, if someone tries to make a move on him to silence him, we're there to see who. And if no one makes a move to silence him, then hey, we're there early to talk to him.
All right. How does that sound with the rest of you?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'll say there's not too far between this place and this dude's house. I'm going to say that it's like down a bit, one main street and then off a side street. Probably a 10-minute walk, you know. Bree is not an enormous city, and, you know, people tend to live near where they work if at all possible. And he's got a modest house. And, you know, Finn, you would know where he lives, right? You would be aware of the general neighborhood. You would be able to make a couple of inquiries, and you'd be able to find that out fairly easily while he is still clearly working during the day and, you know, in broad, you know, daylight and in view of everyone before anything. Do you guys spend any of your time the rest of the day making any other preparations before you set up on this like escort mission here? Anything at all that you want to get done?
I already got my shopping done. Anything else that you guys think like? I'm very intrigued by that underground tunnel, but I think we've got a decent lead with this guy, so I don't want to go sticking like I for one don't want to go sticking my nose into sneaking around a cellar when I don't know who or what's down there. So I would rather chat with this guy before I go sneaking, but
I definitely saw that it was well guarded, and that if I were to go try to enter that area, um, and wasn't sneaky enough, then there might be guards on me, and I would have to either explain myself or fight my way out. That's the impression that I got.
so
Let's
tail him,
tail him.
and no shopping needed.
All right. Considering the distance that I've described there, is there a way you guys want to set yourselves up? Is there a configuration you guys want to do, or are you all four of you just kind of hanging out back behind him at a discreet distance? How you guys gonna do it?
I'm fine ponying up at the bar,
Mhm.
having a couple more pints. You know, keeping my wits about me, of course. But I don't want to get plastered here, but might as well lay low and have a couple drinks while we wait for this guy to head home.
Using your wine lore, which is your character trait, you pick sessionable drinks so that you can. I don't know. I wish that Jim Varell was watching us here so that we could be like, well, in the Shire, the drinks that would be the lowest alcohol content would be this. You know, you do that. You pony up there and you kind of make yourself. You don't make yourself seen, but you do hang around. You're getting some odd looks from people. They're like, weren't we tailing this guy before or something? I don't know. Because you're doing that, you do see the fellow who Damrod, who was tailing you before. He's very nervous around you. Like he's also like he splits his duties between the general store and waiting tables and everything like that. He like every single time he like kind of sees and almost makes eye contact with you, he's like, you know,
He's the one who I ducked in the first
he's
session.
the one that you ducked in the very first session, who was creeping on you at the stalls and who you outran. You gave the slip at the prancing pony, almost at the green dragon, at the prancing pony. You know, he's coming and going and stuff. And the fact that you're there and clearly like you made him and everything, he's like, what? Like he's nervous. Like he's clearly not a guy who's like a vicious killer or something. He's clearly somebody who's a skulker, and he's made very uncomfortable by this. This is probably the third or fourth worst thing that's happened to him today working retail. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and say this to see if you guys pick something up, just because you're still hanging in the area in a low-key kind of way. Roll another insight check and see what happens here. We'll see if you pick up another clue.
Everyone or just Hugh?
Just Hugh, because he's hanging there. And what do you get? Whoops, I'm looking at that. A 10. A 10's not bad. A 10 is good enough for this. Because he's around waiting tables and stuff like that. At some point, as this other guy leaves, you need to settle up your bill. Well, this dude is the guy in the store doing that. He walks up and he slips you like the bit of parchment, because Bill does things that way, and settles up and stuff. And you look at it, and it's got the guy's handwriting on it. He's written it there. And you are a scholar of, handwriting, right? You read all sorts of books, and this is pre-industrial times, right? It's scriptorium monks writing all these things. And you think to yourself, he has a very practiced hand. This is kind of distinctive and stuff. And you're looking at it and you're like, oh, he dots his I's and crosses his T's in this particular way. You pocket that. Okay. So you do that, and then this other guy, old Rob, I guess we call him, has decided that he's done for the night, and he kind of goes and kind of giving you a shifty glance. Finn, you exit, and then is somebody else gonna get the eyeball on this guy after Finn's done with him, or who's up next, and who else is set up where, and what are you doing?
So, I mean, I would say that Am I okay? I'm unmuted. Okay, good. I
Yes, you
would
are.
say that I mean, I would have probably been. So, do we know the direction that his home is in?
Yeah, you guys are
Okay,
able
so
to scope that
I
out.
mean, for me, and I think I would be a little bit farther away in case he slipped out, you know,
Oh,
and then so
So you kind
whoever
of set
wound
up
up
a
being near
perimeter
there.
while we've been drinking.
Yeah, like I've been a little bit maybe farther away than just like right outside. Like I think I'd be watching the road a little bit up the street from him.
okay. And here's what
From a-
happens while you are doing that, Damrod. You don't see him. He doesn't slip out or do anything sneaky. However, as Gilrain said to you before, I'm going to give you a signal if I see anything suspicious going on around. She's going to make the call of that all rangers know among the Dunedain is a signal of possible trouble approaching, which is the sound of a dying giraffe. You hear a dying giraffe out of there, and you're like, "It's Gilrain. It's Gilrain." There.
I
I've
make
been waiting to
this-
make that joke all night.
I make the wah sound back at Gilrain.
Okay. What this indicates to you, this is right by the western gate, okay, which is near where this trading post is. So that indicates to you that something may happen in this area of town, soon if you leave. Okay. So you have a choice to make. Do you continue on tailing this guy with your comrades, or do you want to hang here and see what happens? That's up to you.
Well, I am a ranger and I do have stealth, so I guess I'll like look at my friends and I'll be like,
You're gonna do some
and
hand
and,
signals.
and everybody's looking at me dumbfounded, and then I'm like,
Did he just curse us?
I need to hang back. If you didn't hear that sound, that was a sound from my patron, and I need to hang back for a moment. I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
Who else? Who now is doing what? Who else is doing what here? Tailing this guy. Finn's maybe coming out here of the hall, taking a look at it. Who else is doing what?
If Finn is taking first lead, I wouldn't mind going shortly after him,
All right.
I suppose. Not like super close, but like so I'll meander my way strategically.
Ona's walking big, got her sword ready to go.
I mean, I guess.
What's Dernhild up to?
Well, I'm aware that I've already attracted quite a bit of attention. Most eyes in the hall are still on me, trying to figure out what my deal is and what I'm doing here and everything. So I can hold my ale well. So I am continuing to look as though I am enjoying this fine ale that Bill Trunchbull has given me while I'm keeping an eye on the door. So my plan is to slip out last because I don't want to put my comrades in any sort of danger by drawing attention to them.
You do that, and now that Rob has left this place, you are the last to leave and everything. Do you want to take Firefoot with you, or are you going to leave him here at the library?
Do we have a sense of how far we're going with him?
Yeah, and it's not too far. It's not too far at all. It is within easy walking distance. Just for purposes of, do you have your horse with you?
Right. Since we're in town with narrow streets and small houses, Firefoot will probably not be terribly useful to me. And I also know that he can take care of himself if anybody tries to steal him. So I will leave him.
And so he can. All right. You guys head along. And here is what. No, nothing ill befalls this guy as you guys tail him to his house. Okay. Well, actually, maybe not. Most likely not, because here's what happens. While you guys are tailing him, Damrod is the only one who knows this. Damrod, you are remaining at the signal of the dying giraffe here, waiting to see what it portends. And
the brush, I'm
yeah, definitely. You're
just
keeping out of sight. You're keeping out of sight. What at this time of night? Yeah, at this time of night,
Bill's Hall is a pretty happening and loud place, right? The daytime crew is gone. The general store is closed for the night. The doors are closed and barred for the night and locked, and the lights out. And the hall is the only place where anything is really happening. And those are where, the mean bikers at the, are gonna go to drink and neglect their kids and, do that kind of thing. So it's become, the atmosphere's taken a bit of a turn in there. The result is that it's very loud and bright and drunk in there, and it's dark and many of the lamps out here. And as that is happening, you see 3 figures moving, cloaked, hooded, and they're moving from where the west gate is. They come into the light there, and they go around to the back of the hall there, the mead hall. Do you want to follow from a safe distance and see what
Yeah.
they...
Yes, I do. And how does my shield feel at this moment?
Oh, good point. Your shield is not doing anything at this point.
Okay. Just
All right.
wanted to make sure if I
Nope,
needed
good
to
question
cover
to
it with
ask.
a cloak.
Good question to ask. Very good question to ask, because I would not have remembered that. I am terrible about remembering people's conditional magic items, but sometimes so are my players. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I do that too.
All
So
the time.
don't
All
worry.
the
I've done
time.
that. I've done that to you before.
Many
You're like,
a
don't
roll
you
has
have
been
a
retconned.
thing? Don't you have a thing, Kenneth, that might help?
Whoops.
you
Yeah.
this?
Whoops. No, your shield is not reacting as it did the night prior.
Okay.
And Emily's sword is not reacting like that either, by the way. Okay. So that's happening there. Do you want to follow them? If you do, go ahead and make a stealth roll to remain hidden from them as you're spying on them.
Okay. Oh, now I'm nervous, guys. I'm so nervous. Usually my computer only gets hot when I am playing games, but right now it's really hot for some reason. Ooh, that's not that good. 12.
Well, 12 is a dark and everything, and also higher than their passive perception. So you hang back enough. You're able to see them go around the side of the building there. You don't quite catch up with them. You get around and look. It's dark, but there's just enough moonlight for you to see. None of them are there around the back of the building anymore, but there is a cellar door that is there.
Ooh, the cellar door.
Yes. Do you want to continue following them, or do you want to try to reunite with your party members now? It is up to you. I think you might be glitching, man.
Oh no. Did we lose you?
Oh no, we may have lost him. If he comes back, I'm sure he'll come back in a second here.
While we wait, let's just give another word to our sponsor.
Another word to our sponsor. Yes, AT&T Fiber.
I definitely need more people in the basement. Know that they're not.
Sorry, dude. You cut in and out there, and you glitched a bit.
Something's going.
I didn't get your answer. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So I said, knowing that there's more people underground than there are of me, so I don't have anybody to watch my back. So I think that I would just note. I know that unsavory characters have headed here, and I'm gonna go tell my friends, and I'm gonna double back to.
Okay, and so you do. You hustle on out of there. While he's doing that, the other three of you have followed this guy to his house. And as you do, he sort of opens the door at your first knock and hustles you all inside to his place. And, he closes the drapes and he, doesn't light any candles or something. It's just his fire in the corner and everything. And he says, you're asking a lot of me to come here and everything. I want assurances that I'm going to have protection after this and everything, is what he says.
I say you invited us here. We wanted to talk to you in a bar, and you told us to come to your house.
I'll tell you what, he says. I want out, but if it were that easy, I would have done it myself. So here is what. If you're gonna go for old Bill, you need to take him down clean. He has dirt on the mayor because he's been greasing his palm all these years. Okay? So if that's why he hasn't
seen the inside of a jail cell or anything. That's why he's allowed to do what he does. And that's why if you're going to collar him, you've got to collar him clean, or the mayor's just going to be afraid that, the mayor will be afraid that he'll sing when he's in the prison cell and get the mayor in a sling. You understand me?
Sure.
All right.
If we can tie him to whatever this dark stuff, because this is bigger than him or you or even bigger than the mayor. So if we can get to the root of that, I think that's going to solve a lot of our problems.
Here's what I know, and I know it, and I'll tell it to you, but it's up to you to prove it, and maybe I can tell you how. And you don't need to say that it was me that told you.
Sure. I'm not interested in pointing any fingers. I want out of this just as bad as you do.
Tell us what you know, man.
These lake men that are missing, they're missing because Bill made them missing. Okay. Bill
What
wasn't
kind of missing are they?
dead missing, he says.
Great.
Missing like not coming back. Missing like ran into Shelob and Kirith Ungol.
Okay, worlds can't collide here.
All right, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Anyway, he says, missing like got, The thing with Bill is that he's been having these talks with these shadowy folk, these wild men, and there's wild men that raid caravans, but then there's some that speak the Western language, and there's some that have grim rituals, and some that they say use their own blood for magic and such. And those are the ones that have taken up with Bill and promised him, power and ability and more money. And he's bought into it. He's bought into it because they're giving him these riches, and they're giving him manpower to go and do something as brazen as strike a caravan, that he never would have done before. He wasn't even a bad guy. He was he was a trickster. He was a con man, but he wasn't a murderer. They've done that to him, whatever it is that he's into. They come every few nights and they meet with him. They ask him for something, and then in return, they, use him. They ask him for their eyes to be their eyes and ears around here in Bree, and in return, they'll give him a line on a merchant caravan and the little help that he needs in order to steal from it. And now it's gotten to the point of killing. That's what happened to the caravan of lake men. I know it, and there's evidence for it down there in the cellars underneath the old hall. But you're going to need to prove that Bill's the one what orchestrated it, he says.
How long has he been involved in stuff this nefarious, where he's been killing people?
A season or so, he says. It's just gotten this bad. And I didn't think he'd go so far. He started burgling places, which he never did before either. Breaking into actual places and taking things from people instead of, talking them fancy, or, like getting a deal on the back end or something, or, petty corruption is one thing, but he's taken to laying claim to property and now lives. You got to stop him.
What do you guys think?
Anything from folks? Any other questions?
Is that all we need to know?
You gotta tell me when I get there.
So how familiar are you with these passages, these underground passages that he meets people with?
I know him well, he says.
So what can you tell us about how to? Because you said there's evidence down there to prove that Bill was responsible for the Lakemen disappearing. Are there bodies down there? Is that what you're saying?
He says, I think so. I haven't been down to where they would be kept, but I suspect so. And I'll tell you what, down there, I know there's a room down there, and he's going to sketch out a map for you guys. There's a room down there where he takes stuff that's not strictly legal and he keeps it. And he takes a record of it and figures out how it is he can embezzle it. Like how it is he can launder it. You know what I mean? Make it seem as if it came from somewhere else. You'll want to find that. But he writes everything in code. Okay.
He writes everything. You know, he doesn't say like I have a, you know, no, you wouldn't have a pocket watch at the Shire, would you? I have a bracelet. He wouldn't call it that. He writes it in something else, you know.
Do you know that code?
No, he says. He's the only one that knows it. Him and the guy who writes it down for him are the only two that know it, and he keeps it that way on purpose.
How structurally sound are these tunnels? They're not dwarven made, I imagine. Are they stonework, earthen?
They're earthen, he says, with some wooden supports on them, he says.
Okay.
Are there any? I know there's an entrance from the bar we were in, and then from the shop that our compatriot was in. Oh, he left.
Whoops. We've lost Ken for a minute. We'll get him back. Oh, I think
There
he's
we go.
back.
Are there any? How many other buildings or shops lead to that same passageway?
Those are the two, he says.
So it's just from one to the other, and that's
from one to the other, and there's chambers in between the two buildings. You know, underground.
And it's heavily guarded?
He says, yeah. He says, I think 6 guys on the property. But then you've got the shady types that come, and he usually comes with 2-3 men, whatever it is he is.
What kind of guys we talking? Just your average guys from Bree that are muscle for Bill?
As you ask this, Damrod, you now show up, and
What's up,
you
buddy?
come in. He lets you in and everything. And as he's asking, Finn is asking that, you'll chime in with what you've seen, which is
I give the patented.
yeah, and he lets you in, and you report what you've seen, and
Shady
old Rob is
guys
like,
walking in.
wild men, not Brelanders here. These aren't Bill's men. They've got truncheons and bad attitudes. Nothing that you stern folk here can't take care of, I don't think. Nothing that the riders of Rohan and the Rangers of the North couldn't handle. But I'll tell you, you know, whoever it is that is coming and talking with him, there's something else entirely. They're crazed, frothing berserkers from the mountains of Gundabad, man.
But those are just the visitors. The day-to-day 6 people is just the Bree people.
Yeah. There's people that Finn would recognize. They're ugly mugs around town. You know,
I'd be like, that's just some D-bag from down the block.
Right.
But the guys who our buddy just saw go down there, those are some wild men.
Yes, that's what he says.
That
Wild
guy's
men,
cousin may have sent a wolf
packed
to my
with
house.
curses and hatred for the kingdoms of men. That's what you're dealing with.
Great. And we know they're in town right now, so that's perfect.
Yep, you do.
Well, you guys want to go crash at my house until those guys leave so we can go raid the place after the bad guys go away? Or how are we feeling?
Sleep over at your place? Is that where we're...
I'm saying, I've got even more pipeweed at my place. We can have some. I've got salamis and all sorts of artisan breads. We can hang out until the wild men leave, and then just take out a few of the. You guys can take out a few of the Bree folks. We can, look for some dead bodies.
They'll be back.
And not have to fight any. Well, yeah, they'll be back, but I mean, how long does it take them to get back to where they're going? You know, as soon as we see them leave town. Boom, boom, boom. You guys beat up 6 guys. There's 6 of
You
my...
guys' business.
You 3, you 3 want to go back and eat hard cheeses and salamis while I stand watch over the western gate.
I mean,
we are gonna order pizza after this game, Catherine and I. Just so you know, you guys are making me even hungrier.
Talking about
like this.
hard cheeses.
Slammy's
I had butternut
hard
squash
cheese.
tacos before this, so
Oh dang!
Let's come up with a plan here real quick, because if we do, I think we'll be able to end it here roughly on time. What do you guys think? How do you guys want to proceed? You want to head back to the place? You want to wait them out?
There's no guarantees. People didn't see us following this guy here, so they might be tipped off that we might be coming either way, that they've lost their advantage. I don't know.
That's what Kona thinks.
So here's what I think. I think that maybe, I like find a place to hole up and I learn like, because I've already seen when they come into town, but I don't know when they come out of town.
Durnhild have anything to say about the situation
So
here?
I could watch. Am I muted? No.
No,
So
you're
I
fine.
could-
You're fine.
yeah.
Sorry, I heard you.
So so I could watch and see what their schedule's like. But I also know that if you guys had been followed, I mean, unless Ken wants me to roll a perception, but I feel like I would have seen people outside of the house because I wasn't with you guys. So if people were watching you guys in the house, I would have seen them.
Fair enough.
Durnhild's not been talking this time, so here's what I'm going to have her do. I'm going to have her roll a perception check right now. And how did she do? An 8. All right. Durnhild does not hear it. You guys are engaged in conversation, and so you are all startled when you hear a loud knock at the door.
Oh shit.
Very, like, immediately the guy's face goes white as a sheet. What
You
do
got a
guys-
back door, buddy?
Yes, he says.
Well, then I
I
guess
would
we're headed
say
that way.
Instead of leaving through the back door, we should probably maybe just take cover and try and hide to hear whatever conversation we have. And if possible, if someone is going to try and bring harm to this guy, we could step in. I mean, I don't want to be a hero, but at the same time, this guy seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he could even be useful to us later. So I don't want to just ditch this guy if they're going to off him.
Is there room to hide?
How big is this house? Does he have
It's
closets?
it's a house. It's a house for a bachelor. If you guys seek, you may find places to hide. Everyone want to do, if you guys are hiding and doing as Finn suggests, stealth rolls immediately. Everybody.
Yo.
1d20?
Yep.
Plus your dexterity, unless you have stealth.
I
Then
think
you get to add
that
whatever you
Kona's
did.
got stealth.
I do.
I do.
20.
Oh,
there's my
man.
crit. There's my crit.
Oh, God, you always roll the crit.
Yeah.
You got a 16,
God
a
for that
12, and a
plus 4.
7. Yeah, all right. Well, that's 20 more bucks from me.
Woo!
Courtesy of Damrod once again. I'll write that here, just so I don't
Nice.
forget. All right, Kona, you don't manage to hide as quickly as everybody else does. You are seen as this guy is moving toward the door, and the door busts open. 2 figures come in. One is not hobbit size, not dwarf size, but pretty short and hooded and armed with a curved dagger sword type thing, brandished, coming in here. And the other is one of the toughs from that Finn would recognize from the thing. Kona, you are not really sufficiently hidden. The guy is not hidden. The rest of the 3 of you have managed to take up concealed positions there in the room. Immediately, the shorter guy with the knife starts snarling in some kind of language that you guys maybe don't understand. And the other guy has a big club in his hand, and he's like, well, Rob, I see you're still talking to some out-of-towners here. What did we talk with you about that? Old Bill's been saying that you've been feeling a little weak in the knees lately. I see he was right. Looks like we've got a rat, or should I say a dwarf, and whatever. That's going on. Kona, like, they're at this point, they're attempting to intimidate you. How are you going to answer, or what are you going to do? And at any point, you guys here can try to jump in.
I mean, she's not easily intimidated, so I'm pretty sure she would draw her sword not to attack, but not to be, like, put down either.
Draw your sword, you do. And all right, I'm going to say you and this shorter guy who's concealed here are both going to attack each other at the same time. You see him move and he sees you move. Go ahead and make an attack roll. He's going to make one at the exact same time.
I am preparing my short bow just I'm strapped up. I'm wherever I'm at right now. I've got my bow like ready to pull if I need to have someone's back right now.
Plus what? Plus what? Plus my
Oh no.
initiative? Plus my... What am I
Just an
plussing?
attack roll plus an
Okay.
attack roll. So like 1d20 plus whatever your
4.
your
4, I
broadsword.
see. I see.
Boom. 19. Okay, you're definitely gonna hit the guy. Let me see what he manages to do here. Here he is, and what does he have? All right, him and his bent sword. Go ahead and take a
Okay.
shot at you. Yeah, I know it's.
Makes it sound wonky.
Does a 14 hit you?
Yes, barely.
All right. Well, do your damage first, and let's see what you do to this fool.
So another... okay, I see now.
Oops. 6 damage. All right. Ah. He shouts. It hurts. And what is his damage on this? His damage is 1d6 plus 2. You're gonna take max damage from that blow of 8 hit points. And as you do this, his shroud falls away as you hit him, and you see that you are looking into the face of a goblin.
Well, screw you, goblin.
All right.
Goblins, my
Anyone
most
else want to take an
favorite
action
enemy.
right now? Blood has been spilled.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out and try and murk a goblin.
Roll it.
Yeah, I would like to as well.
All right,
With
both
my
of you
bow.
guys open fire.
Wait, I rolled a D120 apparently.
Yeah, that's not gonna go.
I don't know how that happened.
Oh, another crit!
Oh, double. All right, so that's you did 2 hit dice of damage. Okay, so whatever it's I think it's a D6 with a sharp bow, it would be 2d6 and then plus whatever your dexterity.
Your dexterity.
Yeah, just flat, not doubled. Go for it. Oh, damn, Rod, you fired off too here. Too with an 18 is also a hit on this guy. Let's see what happens.
There we go.
Oh, young
Yeah.
Finnegan Proudfeet is a merciless killer right here. Your arrow takes that goblin right in the throat, chest, right there, right where it meets the neck and everything, and he goes down. Damrod, I'll allow you to amend your roll to the guy there because that would hit him too. The man.
Okay.
Plug.
I shoot him for 4 points of damage.
All right, he stumbles back. Let me see. What is his? How much life does this guy even have in his? Oh, all right.
Do I recognize the guy as I see the goblin fall and see the guy that he's hitting? The guy from town?
Yeah, you would know this guy before, and I'm going to say that you're not going to feel particularly bad if this guy meets his fate right here. However, this is literally true. These low-level thugs are written as total wimps in the rule set here. So he immediately goes, ah! And he like drops his weapon. And he's like, stop. Like he's got like the arrows, like you nicked him with just 4 damage or something, but it's like stuck in his ribs and everything. And he's like, God, get it out of me. And he's like, I wasn't going to do anything. That's, and he like stumbles back and stuff. Like Durnhild, you come out and like with your sword or whatever. And he's like, he's no longer a threat to you guys. Do you want to interrogate him, intimidate him, knock him the hell out? What do you guys want to do?
I'm pretty sure we need to figure out what he's all
Let's
about.
interrogate him.
All right. I'm going to give this one to Durnhill since she didn't get a hit off on here. Go ahead and roll an intimidate check. And if not, just charisma. But here's the other thing. Because I have this house rule. Characters who take intimidate never have good charisma scores. If you are going to...
Yeah, I have a -1 charisma.
Right, that's bullshit. So here's what. Durnhild, you're 5'11" and 180 pounds, and
I'm pretty intimidating.
you're clad in armor that no one in this town is even able technologically to smith. So I think that if you do this with your strength, that's as good of an intimidate check as anything. So go ahead and
I'll take that.
go ahead and crack your knuckles with a strength check.
and we'll call that an intimidate instead. I think that that's more indicative of how you're going to actually do this. A 12 on a guy who's been wounded, disarmed, and is outnumbered 5-1 in this room is not a bad roll. All right. He breaks down into blubber and says, like, they told me to come here and, stop Rob from talking. I don't know what's going on. I never wanted to hurt anybody. I don't know, and he just starts babbling and moaning and everything. He says he'll admit to anything at this point, So he's like, they said, go get the Hobbit, get these people, get Rob, bring them all here or something. So now he lets slip basically that you guys are on the hit list for tonight. There's folk out looking for you.
Well,
Then maybe we want to lay low tonight and protect ourselves.
or maybe we want to go back since we killed the goblin and have one of our shorter people, probably me, cloak up and like try and sneak in.
Do you want to do that?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
You guys want to give that a try?
I like that.
Yeah.
Here's what we'll do with that. I think that Kona and Finn are probably the best to go ahead and do this. Both of you guys do a dexterity check, see how it is, and we're gonna call it a disguise check.
Oh my god. I had a 1 crit, but man, I've had some bad rolls tonight.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, you rolled 1d6 plus 3.
Oh, okay. Yep, my bad.
That would
Mine's
explain
not much
that.
better.
Let's try that one again there.
Okay, that's a little
19 ain't bad. All right. Okay. Kona, for this, you can hide your other weapons here. You're going to have a scimitar. It's got the same stats, basically, as your short sword. Same thing, except it deals slashing damage instead of piercing damage. Whatever. That's not going to affect anything here. You cloak yourself up with this. Try to make yourself seem as small as you can. You're only wearing leather jerkin armor normally, so your armor should be fine. You're not going to need to take off any of your gear in order to look like you're as short as the guy.
I'm currently injured. Are we that concerned about that?
Finn, you want to heal her up? You've got 2 hit die for Hand of the Healer now, so if you want to, you can go ahead and do that. Go on ahead and roll your Hand of the Healer and spend a hit die on that. See what happens.
So that's 2d8 plus 1, right?
You're going to go 1d8 plus 1, unless you want to use them both now, but that means that you then will not have another
I can
one
use
to
it twice. That's
you
what
can
that
use it
means.
twice, yeah. You can use one at a time or as many as at a time as
Okay,
you want.
cool. Yeah, then I'll just do the first one first.
3 points of damage.
But how many did you take? 8?
8.
3 points of damage it is. All
All
right.
right. And how often does this recharge? I need a long rest for this to recharge,
I
right?
believe that it's a short or a long. We'll take a look at it in a bit. Either way, it's gonna be you'll need it. It'll be after this game session for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do another. I'm gonna go ahead and spend both of them then.
Go ahead and spend both.
Party's ready to go.
Go ahead and spend both of them.
All right, yeah, that's a little closer to full strength.
All right, cool. Okay, Kona's been healed and disguised. All right, how do we want to do this?
All right, plan of attack, friends. I'm going in with the guy who's with them, right? So you better talk the talk, buddy. Walk us through this.
Yeah, Rob's like, okay,
Have you guys ever seen Blue Streak?
No.
Oh,
The movie Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence.
it's been so long.
There's a scene with Dave Chappelle where he's going undercover with some people and he can't play it cool at all. Like the first person to fucking question him, he's like, I knew they were gonna catch us. I knew they were gonna catch us.
All right.
So if we expect, I don't expect Kona to be able to talk through this at all. Like, I'm not gonna be able to open my mouth. They'll figure it out pretty quick. So we're gonna have a short moment of surprise.
All right. Finnegan, do you want to be in the initial gambit or are you hanging back?
Do you want to hop on my back?
Probably not.
If there's a way I can be a part of the initial gambit, I'm terrified, but whatever it takes to get the job done, I will do it. So what do we need?
Well, you were supposedly supposed to be captive as well, so
Oh, so I'm gonna be like Chewie in the fake cuffs then?
probably that would be one possibility if that's what you want.
Well,
Who's
it's
our other
funny because
captive?
what?
Oh, go ahead.
I
Yeah.
actually bought cuffs at the shop.
That's
Um,
right. He mentioned to me that he was going to buy manacles.
I
You
did
want
buy
to manacle
manacles.
yourself and calve them loose so that you're able to get out of them?
I'm gonna loosely manacle myself with my own manacles. They've got sexy fuzz on them.
That's not the. God damn, you beat me to it.
Little
You
rabbit
beat me
fur.
to it. I was like, that's not the first time that Finnegan on a fortnight has
What?
made sure that his
God.
I was just going to go for a bit.
Who's our other captive? I don't have any more fuzzy handcuffs.
Well, so it's old Rob that you're going to bring in, right? Is because he was supposed to be getting dragged back.
Okay.
Or are you talking about the guy you injured? Are you pressing him into service? Because I don't know if he's going to be. I don't think he's going to play it cool. You might want.
Okay. So maybe she's gonna be the goblin, the guy who we injured. We're not bringing him because
I
he'll
figured
give it
she's.
up.
That's the thing. She's about goblin sized. Is my point. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like the other guy's man as a man. You know. So
Okay.
Kona would not pass as that dude.
Okay, so we need Dan Roth then to pass as the other inside guy?
Well, he would be. He's supposed to have been captured and brought in, right?
Oh.
So maybe just me and him are coming in faking that we're caught. Whenever we can just be fighting and cursing you like damn you goblin. That way, as you're bringing us through, if anyone's questioning you, you can just grunt and make your way past.
Yeah.
And if anyone tries to chat with you, we can just be like vouching for you while
Just
we
yelling.
curse your stupid
Yeah.
goblin face or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm sure they'll be more concerned with making sure that we're not making a move. So if we're making enough ruckus, they're not going to be looking at you.
Okay, so what we need like a passcode or something. You guys have to shout something so the rest of our team knows when to run in and like cause a ruckus.
Well, I think you make the dying giraffe noise.
Yeah. I think the dying giraffe call would probably be it.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
so
right.
everyone's got it. Great. Is there like
That's
a
what-
passcode to get into the dungeon, dude?
Rob knows it. He'll be fine.
Thanks, Rob.
Here's what. Durnhild and Damrod, what are you guys going to be doing? Do you guys think that you want to go down into the dungeon? Do you think that you want to try to lure them out? Do you all want to try to sneak in? Like how you've seen that there are like 6 guys ranging around the place right now. It's dark, and then there are the enemies that are down in there that you
Quick
know.
question. The goblin that I killed, was that one of the 3 outsider folks, or was that completely different?
Damrod would know that it is one of the guys that he saw approach.
Yeah.
Okay. So what if Emily brings me and Damrod in as prisoners through where's the
Didn't
main?
you
Is that
say
through the
that-
bar?
Didn't you say that one of the guys was like a normal person height?
Yes.
So one of us could wear his cloak.
Yeah, you could. He at this point he will give you the shirt off his back just for the promise of you not killing him. So
Yeah, well,
That's fine.
he's tied up,
Because I'm thinking if they were supposed to bring us in through the pub, then maybe Durnhill could be, sneaking through the other side. That way we could all surprise them from both ends.
Okay.
Or we could all go together. I know we shouldn't probably split up, but I'm just thinking of a way to possibly sneak.
well, as far as splitting up, you guys do know that there are guards like the other thugs like this guy. Now your count on them would probably be 5. They're going to be above ground and everything. And if an alarm is raised while you guys are underneath, they might come after you guys. Is there anything that you want to maybe do to draw them off or do something?
I was going to say, I don't know how anybody feels about this because it would be to some extent splitting up the party, but I would be willing to stay above ground in case the alarm is raised, and also because I'm going to have more trouble being stealthy and escaping notice than probably the rest of you.
I mean, there's also the possibility we raise the alarm and more of his men try and swarm, and at that point you'd be able to block the entrance or like kind of
Right.
put that off a little
Yeah.
bit.
And above ground, you have your horse too. That's a thing.
That's a good point too. I can use my horse.
Do
I'm
you
okay
guys
with
like?
that.
Do you guys like this plan?
Yeah, I like that plan. Yeah.
Okay. Because you guys took some time and really thought it through and everything, I'm gonna say the first stage of it goes pretty well. Okay, Kona as the goblin, Damrod as the other fella. You guys take old Rob and you bring Finn forward and everything. Rob is like, they would go around to the cellar entrance around back. That's what they would do and everything. So you guys would not be able you guys would be seen by the other ranging guards coming up first. Do you guys want Durnhill to start the diversion now? Or do you guys want Durnhill to wait until you guys have gone below ground and risk getting spotted or getting made? Either one.
I think we're confident enough in our getting in
Yeah.
to not have to give things up so soon, right? I think we're hoping to get in, right?
Yeah,
Earlier.
same.
Cool.
But my rolls have not been strong tonight.
Cause I'm gonna be giving it hell. If I'm going in, I'm gonna be yelling and screaming.
You're a good decoy. Good job, little Proudfeet.
All right.
I-
It is
I- look,
9.
Look, I can get up on a table and sing a pub song like the best of them, and I'm just playing this like that.
Dance for me, Hobbit.
I've had plenty of
It is 9 right now, but we don't have very
Yeah.
much to go. We can finish this encounter. If you guys are good going for a little while longer, I am. You guys are?
Power
Let's
through.
finish. Cool, let's finish this up. You guys head in. Durnhill, you hang back, keeping a careful eye on stuff. Patrols of guys walking around, and they seem like they are really nervous now, right? One of their guys is out. All this stuff is happening. These wild men and goblins are back in town and stuff, and just everybody's kind of like nervous and on high alert. Okay, so as they're coming in and everything, they're going to be like, oh, you got them, and some of the guys are like going to call up and everything. So Kona, you're going to roll a charisma and you're going to give me your best goblin.
What would my charisma? Oh, a -1. Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Bearing in mind-
Yes.
I have a 1. What do you got? What do you got?
I have the ability in my skills
Yes.
to, let me read this again.
Yes.
The tongue of many peoples. I know enough to shout a quick
Ah.
greeting or insult in any language.
Is
So-
it greeting or is it insult?
I would tell her what the greeting is. What a goblin would say as a greeting.
All right.
Okay,
Because that is an astute use of your character sheet, I'm going to grant Finn inspiration. Inspiration is also something that you can grant to your friend if they ever are up Shit's Creek, okay? So you have it, and you can use it at any time to roll with advantage on anything. Attack, roll, skill check, anything you like. Or whenever your friend needs it, you can immediately grant it to them to do the same.
Inspiration over to Emily.
And don't worry about it. I'm not going to, because that's a perfect use of that. We're not going to have Emily roll. So she's going to go, ba,
Sup,
weep,
orcs?
weep, gra, ba, weep, niniban or something. And they're going to go, what? And then, like, Finn, you're going to go, like, your mother was a bugbear or something like that, like that and everything. And in her voice, just enough. And it's dark. They don't like goblins or know what goblins are or what they're saying. And they're like, oh, yeah, sounds like it's the same guy. Okay. And they just let you by. Dumb thugs right here. You guys,
Nailed it.
you guys go past and you guys enter the cellar and go down there. And the first thing that you notice as you and old Rob are going down into the cellar there is the reek of death is
Great.
rising up from this cellar.
Wonderful.
Love
Enter
it.
a room there, and you guys enter a room, baby, real tight spaces here, maybe 15 by 30 feet and an extremely low ceiling, so low that Damrod almost needs to hunch down. And there are some wine casks and stuff over there, and you also see a desk with some writing materials, parchment, and a book on it, and some drawers on the desk and everything. There's an exit to the east. There's an exit to the south. Both are wooden doors that are they don't appear to be barred from this side. And everything.
Is anybody nearby right now, or is this room empty?
Empty at the moment. And you guys are in there, and now I'm just going to ask Dernhild, is Dernhild going to do anything right now?
I think I'm staying where I am for now.
Can I snatch up the book and papers from the desk?
You
and
can.
kind of hide them under my cloak, or if I have I don't know if I don't like, since I'm a prisoner, I don't know if I have my normal bag on me, but if I have a pack on me, can I just store all that?
You can pretty easily do that.
Okay,
So
I just want to take everything off the desk. If there's a ledger with that coded stuff about the thing,
one of the things looks like a pretty thick ledger.
Yeah, I want to take as much evidence as I can off that desk and put it on my person.
All right, you're doing that. There's also drawers in the desk and everything. Do you want to try to investigate those?
Yep. Are any of them locked, or can I open them pretty easily?
You're able to open one or two of them that don't appear to have anything important in it, but one is locked. So,
okay.
I can break shit open.
Kona, you want to give a treasure hunter try on this one?
Yeah.
Go on ahead. I think it would be a sleight of hand check on this. If you don't have thieves tools, then
I have thief tools if this doesn't work.
Yeah, Finn can lend you his and everything. Well, let me look.
Okay, I don't have sleight of hand though, so what would I?
You just use a dexterity check in that case. What do you got? Oh, look at that. That's another 20. You guys, you guys are costing me
one on my last
so
one.
much.
You had a house and home.
Sorry,
Man,
brother.
What
my goodness.
Dan, how much?
I'm up to $60 right now, you fools.
$60 raised. All right.
All right, you got up to $60.
Go Arts.
You sons of Isengard orcs. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, all right, Kona. It's just you breathe on the thing and it opens right up. Opens up in there. Various bric-a-brac stuff. However, one thing important, there is a slender little silver key in there. Looks pretty important. You pocket that. All right. And then you've got exits to the south and exit to the east in there. All right, Dernhill, go ahead and give us a perception check while you were out there.
Okay.
$16. All right. Ever since the Krebane appeared along the roadside, you've been furtively watching the sky every now and then, nervously. As you do out here, you are near the livery right now because you figure you might need to grab Firefoot at any moment. You hear cawing and the ruffling of wings up above, and you look, and in the torchlight that can occasionally get up that high, you are seeing black feathered wings around there. You estimate that there are 2, maybe 3 of these that are circling the building right now. You think it is a very good possibility that you have been spotted based on what you know of birds and their night vision and everything. So you've seen that. We're going to go back down to the cellar there. Who's doing what? Are you guys exiting this room? Where are you going?
I mean, judging by this map, I think it's south to get to where the other side of the place goes, because east would just be an exit.
Pretty much.
Okay.
That's one possibility. Are you guys heading that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's opening the door?
Damrod, get in there.
I'll open it.
You're tall.
Damrod opens the door. All right. Damrod makes a dexterity save.
What?
You heard me.
No.
So I just get +3. Okay.
Five.
A glorious 5. It always, you know that it always pains me to do this. This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you, Rod. You're gonna take a glorious 3 damage as an arrow flies out of the dark there and hit you there. It's a
I don't-
little
Wow.
fletchette. It was a trap back of the room. It's like a shotgun with a
Booby
string
trapped?
tied to it.
What?
Bam. I'll tell you why it's that. This is a room here with a bunch of goods in it that are clearly illegal, you guys. This guy has the yayo. This
I
guy
take out my
has
digital camera and I take
8-track
pictures
tape
of all of them.
players.
I make sure to have the timestamp on. I also take video of everybody.
PlayStation 2s that have had the
Yeah.
serial numbers filed off, just all kinds of stuff,
Italian vintage vehicles.
Yeah,
It's
man.
gone in 60 seconds down here.
Yeah, dude, it's like, the whole crew. I could go on all night describing the wonderful finery that you find down here. The point is that this is not treasure to be looted. This is illegal goods to be reported. Okay.
Are there any dead bodies in here?
There are not. There are not. There's another exit. There's another exit from the room you were at, though, that goes east. Okay, so
Hold
you haven't
on.
explored everything yet.
But
In this room, is there any of this contraband that is perishable or that we could damage so that he couldn't make money off of it anymore?
You could piss in a wine cask.
does this room smell of death any more than the other rooms?
It smells less. It smells incrementally less like death than the room you were
Okay.
just in.
I wanna
Feeling a
tip
little
over
colder on
shit.
that.
I wanna push things over, break things. If it's glass, I wanna break it. If it's paper, I wanna burn it. If it's liquor, I wanna pee in it.
Wait,
I wanna mess up this guy's money bad.
you got
Ooh.
1 minute. Go.
He sent a damn ghost wolf after me. I wanna wreck his livelihood.
All right, here's what I'll say. There is a bunch of elvish cloth there. Now, this is not the good stuff. This is clearly stuff that has then been given to cheap merchants who then sewed poorly made stuff with it. And there is a cask of ale right above it. Finn, you just very calmly, you hop up on a stepladder and you just turn the spigot on. It just begins emptying everywhere. You just go, let's go. And you just turn right around. And it is going to ruin everything in this room easily. Easily.
Is there a possibility that how big are these wine kegs in the room that we have just returned to?
They
that smells
are.
of death.
They are.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. They're bigger than all of you guys. We're talking big ones here.
Can we knock on a few and see if they're sounding hollow? If they're sounding. I just feel like if this room smells solidly of death, it wouldn't hurt to maybe find out if these kegs are what we think they are.
Yeah.
Go ahead and knock on them. I'll give you the solution for free on this because it's late, and that is a good thing to check for, though. They are not holding dead bodies in there.
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
just gonna just tell you right now. That's a
Good,
good,
yeah,
great
that was-
idea.
that
It's a
was
great
really-
idea.
That's
I
a really
wish I
good
thought of it. I wish I thought of it, but that is up here. There is just back the way you came up the stairs and to the east.
All right,
minutes
to the
more.
To
east.
the east, then.
Who's opening the door?
Good lord.
Well-
Well, like, what if the goblin was walking through the door, bringing us to prison? Like, why would they stab the goblin? Look,
Oh, that's
guess
true. But the goblin would have known not to open that door.
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, this door possibly can't be booby trapped, so I'll open it.
So yeah, I think our leader should be bringing us since
Kona goes over. You try the door, doesn't open. It's got one of those sliding opener things that you can peer through, and it does.
So you probably need to give it a pound.
Does slide open. All right, Kona, if he sees a direct look at your face, maybe not. Do you want to make a quick move? How are you gonna finesse it so that he doesn't see your face?
I'm gonna start fighting with her. I'm gonna be like, "Let go of me, you filthy goblin!" That way, she's got to turn and face me while she's banging on the door.
All right.
I'm making
Very good.
I'm making a
He's
scene.
making a ruckus.
All right. Okay. Guy behind the door. Good. Found that guy finally or whatever. Walking around here like he owns the place. Now, how you looking, you little halfling? Here's what he does. He goes over to the wall right next to him. Kona, you see that he speaks into a speaking tube. Okay. Up a thing. All right.
Like a number 5 with
Yeah,
a large
like-
Coke.
Outside outside Kona, somebody, or I'm sorry, not Kona, Durnhild, somebody leans out and it's like, hey, you know, and like sort of makes a signal. Some of the patrol guys begin moving toward the building.
Oh no.
What are you going to do about it?
No.
Is Durnhild still with us? Yes, she is.
Contemplating.
Oh, yes. So these birds that are flying around, are these, I mean, do these look like unnatural evil birds, or are they just birds?
They're bigger than any crow has any right to be. They are almost fin-sized now that you're seeing them come down.
Almost. That's great. Okay, well, I think it's time for me to get out my bow and try to take them down because they're
Well,
seeing too much.
did you hear that the
Yeah,
guys
sorry. Did you hear
down-
that the guys in the building are converging on the building now? The patrol guys are converging on the building. I don't know if you heard me.
Oh no, I'm sorry. So you
Yeah,
were
so
frozen for a while.
they-
I must have. Sorry about that.
They
Okay,
heard
I
that somebody, apparently they have a fancy intercom system, and someone called upstairs and said that the goblin is downstairs with me, and a bunch of guys went inside. So you see those guys going.
You
back
spot
in.
now that they're coming in. You spot 5.
Okay, they're going down. Okay.
They're heading toward the building right now, and you do still have these birds up above. What are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
All right. Well, I guess let's see.
Just
I
sneak
guess I will draw my long sword and show myself and see if I can cause enough of a distraction that at least some of them don't go down there.
You want to be on the back of your horse while you do this, or you're going in on foot?
Yeah, sure. For maximum intimidation effect. Sure.
All right, you to Firefoot, who just comes immediately, like finally, you know,
Yeah,
and
there's
you swing
whistle.
yourself up into the saddle and make some pronouncement in the harshest Rohirric that you can muster at the time, and immediately they all turn around. One of them does make a break for the house there. You are faced with 4 guys here. Are you going to attack these guys? How are you going to do? What are you going to do?
So are they standing their ground? Are they going to fight me? They're
They
not
look
running
like
away?
they're putting their back to the building and their front to you and everything. They are armed with clubs and they've got like some rudimentary armor and everything. You know, so you can give it a shot. But they look like they're not advancing on you, but it looks like they're like, what's going on, you know? I'm not hearing you.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, you went
Sorry.
mute for a while.
Did I go mute again? We're coming back and forth. They are standing
Sorry.
there. They're standing their ground. They're not advancing on you,
Okay.
but they look like they're ready to fight.
All right. Well, I am going to command them to disperse and see what they do. I'm not going to attack them unless they either attack me or go downstairs like they're going to attack the rest of my party.
All right, you shout at them, challenges at them, and everything, and their attention is definitely drawn to you at this moment. Will not come to blows just yet. All right. Meanwhile, the door downstairs, you guys, opens for you, and Kona, you push, and Damrod, you push your 2 ostensible prisoners forward. Stench of death is heavy in here. Stench of death is heavy in here. And the reason that it is because you see this room here, there is a pile of, there's several things in this room. You come in and then it goes down to the south. Okay. The room goes down toward the south and everything. You take an immediate right turn and you see there is a large pile and it looks like sorted piles of ill-gotten goods, right? You know, clothing, saddles, weapons, what have you. And then there is a cell and there's your dead bodies, guys, piled up in there. You've got maybe half a dozen people that are in there and everything. And Kona, you would recognize them as looking like they probably are lake men, you know, slain cruelly, just left there. And it's been days at this point. So they're in a terrible state. It's one of the most awful things you've seen, and you've seen a lot, you know. So that's going on. And then you've got one of the other thug guys is down there. There is a door to the south, the far south of this chamber. He's like, yeah, put him in with the Bill's gonna come for them or something. Put him in with there. Bill's talking to the guy to our friends right now. There enough. He'll get to you later. You put him up and go talk to your master, you filthy old goblin or whatever. He's talking to you like he doesn't think you understand common, you know. He's like, screw you, you goblin, ha ha ha. You know what I mean? Like thinking like, oh, he's a stupid goblin. He doesn't understand. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right.
Did we lose Hugh? Hugh.
Is he there? Hugh.
He's just murdering dolls.
Probably.
Murder
Yeah, that's
dolls.
pretty. I don't know if that's family friendly for the stream there.
I don't know what's happening there. I don't want to know.
While we wait and see if he comes back in and everything, Durnhill, some of the guys seem as if they're maybe moving back in toward the building here. You may need to try to be more forceful or to attack them or to do something. What are you going to do?
If they look like they're actually going down into the building, I know that given the number of baddies and that there may be more down there, that the rest of my folks may not be able to defend themselves. So if they start going down into the building, I will rush toward them with my sword and attack them with my sword.
Go ahead and roll. Make an attack roll. You're going to ride up on one of these guys and swing and see what happens. Let me just look up these fine gentlemen's stats here. Oh, that is a blow right there. Go ahead and roll. And how are you attacking them?
I'm slashing with my sword.
All right, roll your damage.
Okay.
On this guy. Seven damage. All right, a pretty hefty blow against this fellow. He stumbles when injured. All right. When injured, these guys are not the best combatants. And so he shouts, yelps, blood streaming from him, and he makes a disadvantage roll against you because he is injured. Does an 18 hit you? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, my arm.
Your armor class is an 18? We are having difficulties here, folks. I still can't hear you, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're freezing up a little bit. Can you type it in the chat?
Sorry, Catherine. Can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. We're clearly Zoom is like, fuck you guys, go to bed. All right, your armor class is an 18, right?
16.
16. All right, you are gonna get hit. Okay, let me see what this guy's vicious damage is here with his disadvantage blow. Yeah, he has a mighty 1d4 plus 2 damage, and he is going to hit you for a glorious 3, the minimum damage. You're going to take that blow there, and I'm sure you're going to keep on trucking. All right. The others are not necessarily emboldened by this. You're riding around on your horse, meanwhile, so they can barely get close enough to get a hit in on you or something. So, that's happening. All right. Meanwhile, back down underground here. Sorry, Emily's also muted.
Haha. How many dudes are in the basement?
There's one dude in the basement that you can see.
And there's another door we haven't been through yet that we assume that's where Bill is?
To the south, yes.
Okay.
A
Well,
large double door with a padlock on it.
well, can we try and sneaky murder this one guy?
How in what manner will you sneaky murder this guy?
Well,
Is it the guy who just let us into that door?
Just let you in the door.
I think
his attention is focused on Finn, Rob, and Kona right here. Damrod?
Yeah.
You want to chump this fool?
Yeah. Let's see here.
Roll to chump this fool.
I will jump him. Am I?
Make an attack roll. Make an attack roll.
Nine.
All right. You do hit him because he's unarmored and not paying attention to you, and a 9 is not even as bad as a 6. Go ahead and roll your damage and see what happens. Oh, that's vicious. That's a vicious blow. All right. Damrod, what did you hit him with?
I guess I like we need witnesses, so I pommel struck him.
All right,
my
you give him a
sword.
good concussion, which in this under all D&D rules is completely non-lethal and has no long-term health effects. That's always what that is. He goes hits the ground like a sack of potatoes. All right. Room full of dead bodies and ill-gotten gains, you guys, and a doorway to the south. All right. Durnhild up there, are you going to go in to attack another guy, or are you going to keep your distance from these guys? How do you want to play it?
Okay, so who do I still have out there? And did anybody succeed in running down into the cellar?
One guy succeeded in running down into the cellar, and thus you are faced with 4 gentlemen, one of whom is wounded and like has poor combat prowess, and the other 3 who are like trying to run and trying to like block your path somehow or to like corral you in. And meanwhile, you know, what is a man on foot to a horse of Rohan? You know, not very much. So even if they're trying to get close to you, you're riding right by them and everything.
Right. I think since I know that someone has gone down into the cellar armed, I am going to try to go down there. So in as much as someone is still blocking my access, I'm going to try to take them out still on my horse before dismounting and going down there.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack with your sword. And I'll say one guy is going to be like trying to guard the cellar entrance, and you're just going to ride right at him. Go for it. That is a 10. All right. You don't, he is going to block you. Let's see. Yeah, he blocks you. Puts a shield up and everything and kind of blocks you from getting down there. You're engaged with him here. He's going to attempt the same thing as the last guy. He's going to attempt to take a swing at you. Good heavens. He's going to get a crit. Oh, God. All right. Sorry. 7 damage to Durnhild on this guy as a club comes down on her. All right. I don't know why I've been rolling so well when I'm hitting you guys. How's Durnhild doing for health at this point?
Do you have to give money for your own crits?
I think that it's only fair that I give money for my own crits because, as we all know, I always do this shit to myself. So
yes, you do.
All right.
I think to be fair, we should have to give money when you crit.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway.
All right, please do. All right,
I think that's
$20
fair.
from Hugh. That's nice. That's good. I appreciate that very much.
All right. That down.
That's what's up with Durnhild right here. And here's the thing, even down the cellar door being open, basically, and the door is open and stuff, you would hear the crash of battle here and hear that she's taken some hits or something. Does one of you want to go up and try to assist her? All right. One of the guys went into the building, but he didn't go through the cellar entrance. He went in the main entrance and everything. So you wouldn't be encountering this guy yet, but he's going to be coming down probably from a different entrance at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pop out with my bow and take some shots.
Well, we don't know how many people are in the next room either.
You guys can wait until you're all in the same area. Durnhild's coming to you. You know?
Oh, okay.
Damrod, you run up.
Do we know that? Do we know she's coming to us?
You hear a horse galloping at the thing and crashing into a guy there. There's very little way to interpret that else.
There's a ruckus.
Damrod, you get down to the foot of the stairs there, and you see the guy's got his back to you there. I would say you probably can't get all your movement. You can't get in melee range with him. Do you want to pull your bow as you're moving and get a shot?
Oh, I thought I gave the right one. Oh, I gave a plus. Roll.
Where did that go?
Hold on.
Oh.
There we go. 17.
Oh, that's a hit on a guy from behind. Roll your damage with that great bow of yours. Bow's pretty great.
9.
9 damage. All right. Dernhild, as you're getting hit by this guy, suddenly he takes an arrow in the back and goes and falls. You guys have killed one of the guys here now, a man of Bree, so that is gonna be a thing. But Dernhild, you dismount, you get Firefoot a slap, he runs off, and you charge down to be with your mates there. There's 3 more guys, but they're like circling around like what's going on or something, you know. If you all join yourselves in the chamber there, you see the double doors. They're locked. Finn, you've got a silver key. You want to give it a chance on that?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Okay. You guys bust in, and it's not trapped, but it is a boss chamber, you guys. You guys are in a room, 30 by 30 foot cellar room there, low ceilinged. And here's what you see. You see old Bill Trunchbull there, and he is kneeling before this guy who's Damrod had seen before, the taller man before. There's one of the other short folk that you now know to be a goblin. And this guy here has crow feathers like on a headdress, like on his mantle, on, you know, his face, and like and his gloves and everything. And he's holding a spear in one hand. He sees all of you. Bill sees all of you, and like everything's panicked for a second. Rob runs. He's just like, I've done what I came here to do, and he just pieces out, runs on out of there. Dernhild, Damrod, Kona, Finn, you see the tall guy move. His face goes a berserk kind of crazy, and he points at Damrod in particular. He shouts, "Do not die!" And, you know, like screaming at him. Everybody go ahead and roll initiative. We're in initiative now, you guys.
I say, haha, for Dunedain.
Roll it.
You can have that one, buddy.
Roll it. It is
22.
Oh my god.
What the heck? I rolled like 3 1s today.
That's another crit. Wait, is it a crit?
Nah, it's a 22 there for
Oh, a 19 plus 3.
19
Okay.
plus 3. Yep.
Meanwhile,
I keep reading the 1d20 plus 3 and thinking that that's not the formula, it's the result.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right, so we got a 12, a 3, a 22. I think we're waiting for Damrod on this.
Oh, I rolled in the wrong chat. Actually, I rolled in my other D&D chat.
Oh no.
You're cheating on us.
Well, I mean, like that you're just confusing some other people. Like, what the heck is there?
Yeah, I know. They're gonna be like, hey Kenny, why did you do that? I thought I rolled and I got a 19. I typed that in, but I missed.
Oh yeah, you've been rolling in our Viking.
Oh gosh.
That's
Oh,
what happens.
I
I've
rolled
been
in
seeing
the-
it, and I was like, why am I not seeing it in the main chat here? Go ahead and
Okay.
roll
My bad.
The Lord of the Rings.
All right.
All right, let's see. So that is Dernhild with the 22. That is Finn with a 12.
If I get a 1, I'm gonna
the
argue
glorious
that I
3.
should get the other one that I got.
Because you rolled a 19 before, right?
Yeah, I got 23. Yeah, that's 14. I'll take it if I have to. But
All right, a 14.
If you have to, I rolled a 3.
Right? Okay. Then these guys right here, and this guy right here. All right, I'm going to just roll all 3 of these belligerents at once. We're going to see what they get. A glorious 9 for the bad guy. A glorious 14 for his goblin buddy. And a 13 for, well, no. Yes, also a 14 for old Bill. Good old Bill. All right. Pardon me, everyone. Initiative always takes me like way longer than it should. Order of battle is going to be Durnhill, Damrod, the Goblin, Old Bill, Finnegan, the Hillman, and Kona bringing up the rear here.
Cool.
All right. It is going to be
Normally-
Durnhild first. All right, Durnhild, you are up. You're
Normally
faced
it's
with
Finn
these.
who likes to bring it up the rear.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Misdeed, Shadow Point. Oh, Durnhild, what are we doing?
All right. I think I will go in two-handed with my longsword.
All right. Go for it.
I'm just saying, we hobbits like to live in dirt holes.
Oh my God, go home.
This is bad. This is
Oh no.
so bad.
Who
No.
invited you?
Go home.
Durnhill with a 15. Are there any in particular that you're targeting with this, by the way?
Oh, I was just going after the big dude with the crow feathers. Can I do that?
You can, and you hit him. Roll with your double-handed sword damage. Do it.
Your three-handed greatsword.
Yeah, I know, right? And so Goro can still wield a shield with it. 6 damage to this guy. All right. Okay, Kona coming in two-handed with this, just wailing on this guy. He crumples back from the blow there. That is 6 damage. Yeah, very good. All right, Damrod, it's up to you.
Loosing an arrow at his face.
Oh,
That's
man.
22.
Okay, that's a hit. That's a 22 from Damrod. That's a hit. Roll against this guy.
Nope. Well, I gotta actually do the syntax right.
That would help.
11.
Good heavens. Oh, my God.
That's
All
crit.
right.
Critted on the damage.
A vicious blow against this guy. And he stumbles back, screaming curses at you. This is the Hillman of Rudour. You recognize, Damrod. Long have they loathed your people, ever since the days of old Arnor.
Yeah, that's why I shot him.
Well, yeah.
Right in the face.
Won't start. Won't
Shot
start.
him in the
Nothing
face.
won't be nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly why I shot him.
The goblin is coming after. He's gonna come after Damrod. I think that's what. Dude, should I drop all pretense? Just start swearing at you guys with the enemies?
Yes,
again?
please.
I
Come
mean,
on.
if anyone's still watching by this point, we need to give them
Fuck
something.
you, Damrod. I can't believe it. I can't believe you did that. All right.
I mean, we're raising money for the arts, and the arts
Oh,
is
that
not
definitely hits.
known for
19.
centuries.
The arts
filthy.
The arts
It's
shows
true.
titties and
It's
bush
true.
sometimes, even in those
It's
paintings.
true. That's
So
very
I
true.
think we
Art
might
if
as
there's
well
not
just get
bush.
right to it.
We're being very tasteful. That's
Yes.
what it is. 19, I think, hits Damrod, and Damrod, you are gonna take 1d6 plus 2 damage, 4 damage against from this a slash from this goblin sword. Okay, you guys are thick in the melee now. Old Bill is here, and he is actually wielding a bow and arrow. A bigger bow, almost as big of a bow there as Damrod's bow there, a great bow. He is
Fun
going
we're
to take.
comparing bows.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's Bill is the type who would be comparing bows based on how I've described him. Let's
I
be
see
real.
your Schwartz is as big as
Yeah, exactly. All right, listen. He is going to take aim at Finnegan. He's going to say like, I've had enough of you." He goes ahead and he makes an attack at +3. Does a 16 hit Finn?
Yes.
Oh no. What could it be? That is, and he only gets a +1. 1d8 +1. Oh god, max damage, 9 damage against Finn.
Oh
No, he's so
damn.
tiny.
That hurt bad. Damn.
Oh man, you've
That's
been
gonna be like half.
worse.
That's more than half.
It's
Damn.
terrible.
And I used all my healing shit on you.
No.
Thanks a lot, dwarf.
It's terrible.
Sorry.
It's terrible.
I'm up against the wall like.
All right, but it's not over yet, you guys.
Oh,
All
man.
right, Finnegan, you're next. Actually,
All right, who just attacked me?
that was old Bill
Bill.
attacked you, man.
Oh, Bill did that to me. He
That's
did me
what
dirty.
he did. He barely even knows that he did it, man. He's
What
like
did he get me
astounded.
with?
He hit you with a great bow.
All
Arrow.
right, yeah. So I'm stumbling against the wall, and I'm gonna pull out my short bow and pow! Right, return fire right at old Bill.
This is turning into the
Old
Departed
West.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go, all right, make it
All
roll
right.
your attack.
All right. I got it.
Red Dead
Going on with
Redemption.
this guy.
All right, old Bill. I got your fucking number.
Oh yeah, do it. I
God
mean,
damn
a
it, hold on,
125.
stupid 100, yeah.
125 would hit him.
Okay.
17 hits him and butt good. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Wow, wow, wow.
It took me forever to beat Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow.
6 damage ain't too shabby. And I accidentally just opened my email program. Oh my god. All right. 6 damage to old Bill. He stumbles back. You lousy halfling. You little jerk. All right. Damrod, other hand, screw you, Damrod. Says the hill man. I'm racist against you. This is actually a thing I can do. Make a wisdom save. It is versus corruption. It is versus corruption. If that makes a difference.
Hold on.
Against the shadow.
I wish everyone.
I get to roll
I'm
that.
racist against you.
It's the thing with this type of enemy, you
I
know.
just wish you had to.
They're
announce
not
that.
subtle.
There's a thing in there that's like they hate the Dunedain. They always attack them first and everything.
I just wish before every hate crime there had to be a declaration of "I'm racist against you." The way you knew.
22.
That would really help, legally speaking.
Yeah.
pretty much. At 22, Damrod, you are utterly unfazed by the menacing grimace of this guy.
I just say, Fortuna Dine! Just really loud. I just yell it at him right in his face.
You fart in his general direction.
Yes.
All right, and yeah, that was his big play, unfortunately. So
His mother was a hamster.
yeah, pretty much.
you go.
All right, so let's see, and I believe yes, it is Kona. Finally, it's Kona. here.
Me, thank God. Not
Yes.
the little hobbit. I'm rolling.
Roll. What'd you roll? You rolled an 11.
For
Who are you rolling
Christ's
against,
sake.
though? Who are you rolling against? though?
Bill.
All
That
right,
motherfucker.
You're gonna kill Bill tonight, guys.
I am.
All right. What are you hitting him with? That does hit him.
Stupid Bill.
Big old ghost face killer.
All right, do it. Roll the damage quickly.
Oh no, Bill's done for.
Let's see what happens with
Oh,
Ghostface Killer.
oh, good. God,
Texting furiously here to get
I
this in.
am. Ugh.
8.
Oh,
Nice.
that's vicious. All right, and then yeah, Finn, you just hit him for that. All right. If you're hitting him with Ghostface Killer, you wait in. Do you kill him or do you knock him out? That's up to you.
I'll knock him out because we need him, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll knock him out.
Kona, you're shorter than he is by quite a bit. You go for the jewels, and I'm not talking the ones that dwarves make. Okay.
Cojones.
Bam. Right there. He goes white as a sheet, falls over, out of the fight. Okay. There's still a goblin and a hill man here going on right now. Durnhild, it's back up to you at this point.
Okay, so where is everybody? You said there's a goblin, there's a hillman, there's guy with the crow's feathers.
Well,
Where is it?
the hillman is the guy with the crow's feathers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
And
guy
you-
with the crow's feathers is the
Yeah.
hill man. Yes.
And I thought you were already next to him because you were hitting him with your sword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were. Yeah, you've hit. Yeah, you hit him, so you're in melee with him right now. So
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep wailing on him then.
all right. Woman of Rohan coming on strong with a sword. Go ahead and roll your attack once more. You're still there with your two-handed sword, wailing on him. 13. Let me look at his stuff again. A 13 hits him. Roll your damage. Go ahead and roll well too.
Oh God.
Oh damn.
All right. That is max damage, and he had 10 hit points left. All right. It is up to you whether you slay him or you incapacitate him. But you knocked him down with that one.
Yeah, let me just incapacitate him because we should see what we can find out from him.
All right. You come in with a slash. He falls to his knees, snarls at you, and then you right in the face, and he's down and out. There's no way this goblin is going to fight you guys, and there's no way that these other chumps above ground are going to threaten you either, with the fact that several of them are wounded and routed. One of them is dead. You guys have undone Bill's criminal organization here. It is late, so I am going to leave the resolution of this crime caper to the next time that we meet, and then we'll hit the road to Annúminas, I think. But you guys at this point have cleared out this little mini dungeon. There's stairways that lead up to the hall and then to another passage south to the general store that neither of them present any danger to you. But for the moment, we will stop right here, and then we will resume just where we left off last time. Okay, guys? Sorry, I was planning on ending at 9. I thought we could get things quicker here, but you guys kept things rolling. So it's 9:45. I appreciate everyone putting time in for this. I appreciate everyone who's watching. We got about a few dozen views last time. I hope that folks will come and join us again. We'll keep this rolling for a bit. And I am on the hook for a glorious $80 tonight from the 20s that everybody rolled and myself.
Woo!
And so if you're inspired to donate as well, remember you can donate to artsforillinois.org/donate. Arts organizations, independent artists as well are benefited from it. And if you are, by the way, an artist who believes that you may qualify for that kind of assistance, or you work with an arts organization in Illinois that you believe may, you can go to that website there and you can find information on the relief fund and perhaps apply for it yourself. Don't want to omit that. Guys, everybody, thank you so much. Hugh, you want to play us off with some fellowship tunes here?
Sure.
Gladly say goodnight to everybody. Good night, folks.
Good night. See
A
you
fond
guys.
adieu, farewell.
Come back. Farewell.
Come back.
See ya.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Is this gonna keep going?
I'm gonna keep jamming until Ken kicks us off.
Thank you, everyone. I think that'll do us. Good night, everybody.
Good night.